I'm wildly filtering spoilers in the dimensional chat group. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51. Do not shake the lotus. Ada. After the kick, Zhang Chulan punched the guy on the head. The guy was stunned. Even the audience on the stage was stunned. Bang, bang, bang. Zhang Chulan sat on the other person and punched the guy in the face. What the hell? Seeing Zhang Chulan's operation, even the usually calm Taoist Wang Yi couldn't help but swear. What do you think? It's not a foul if I hit him now, right? Zhang Chulan asked the referee while beating him. It's not. The referee gritted his teeth in anger. But I really want to beat you now. Duang. After listening to the referee's words, Zhang Chulan punched again. In the stands, other young people gritted their teeth and beat their chests. I didn't expect this kid to be so good. It seems we can worry less. Zusan and Zusi did not understand Zhang Chulan's current strength. However, they were relieved after seeing Zhang Chulan's shamelessness. Although Liu promised to tell Feng Bao about her life experience, Zhang Chulan came for the identity of the successor of the Heavenly Master. After all, they have been together for so long, so they are naturally worried about each other. No, how could he be like this? Lu Linglang deliberately came to see the successor of the Key-Body Origin with a red and swollen forehead, and this is the result. Your behavior is too different. Lu Linglang deliberately sat next to Liu. After seeing Zhang Chulan's behavior, she complained to Liu. Ahem, how to say it. Liu lowered his voice and said in Lu Linglang's ear, I'm telling you quietly, Zhang Chulan doesn't know the Key-Body Origin at all, and his strength is actually not that strong. P.S. Compared with me, so he can only use some tricks. Hiss, isn't it said that he is the successor of the Key-Body Origin? Lu Linglang listened to the insider news with a face full of surprise. They are all stupid. He was only a few years old when his grandfather died. He doesn't know shit about the origin of Ki. Let me tell you, the purpose of our visit this time is actually to protect Zhang Chulan from being beaten to death. The identity of the successor to the Heavenly Master depends on fate. Oh, so that's the case. Don't spread what I told you. Liu gestured to Lu Linglang. Don't worry, I'm very tight-lipped. Of course, Lu Linglang didn't say anything, but there were strange people around, so their ears and eyes were naturally much smarter than normal people. Don't you think so, Beishixu? Beishixu and Zhi Jinhe had a good relationship with Lu Linglang, so they naturally sat close to each other, and Liu's words happened to be heard by Beishixu. So, looking at the game that was about to start, a subtle look flashed in Beishixu's eyes. Looking at Beishixu, who had already fallen into the trap, Liu said in his heart, sorry, sister, this is all Zhang Chulan's attention. Blame him if you want to. I'm just watching the fun. Cough cough. Off the stage. After a beating, the young man pointed at Zhang Chulan tremblingly and said, hey, didn't you say you would wait until I recovered before taking action? Where are those words you said? Where is the dignity of the strong? Dignity? Zhang Chulan turned his head and said with a wretched expression, how much is dignity worth per pound? Fuck. Is this the successor of the origin of Key-Body? Don't shake the blue lotus. Don't shake the blue lotus. Although the organizing committee stipulates that commentators are not allowed to insult players, the commentator on the other side of the stage said excitedly, but I still want to say that I have never seen such a shameless person in my life. Shame on you. Shame on you. The audience on the stage cursed loudly, but Zhang Chulan was not moved at all. He even smiled and made a yeah gesture to the stage. It made people want to kick him to death. But on the contrary, Feng Zhenghao admired Zhang Chulan very much. The old Taoist also happily said that Zhang Chulan took after his grandfather, the big-eared thief. Just like that, Zhang Chulan became completely famous. Liu filmed this classic scene in full and uploaded it to the chat group. Everyone expressed their admiration for Zhang Chulan. Kurosaki Ichigo, I can't understand it. Zhang Chulan's strength is not bad now. Why did he do this? Kamero, QQQQ, can't you guess this? It must be for the bet. I guess Zangchulan will have to put all his wealth on it this time. Yakumo Yukari and Zangchulan and Liu must have planned to do something in the finals. Liu, no. I said, Yukari, how come you even know about the thing? Kamero, a few days ago, Yumi asked me for a complete list of internet terms. Now she is a trendy monster. Yakumo Yukari, does a monster sage have to keep up with the trend? Liu, you are a monster idler, right? You are so idle every day. You should stop being cute at your age. Yakumo Yukari, you better not let me run into you and Kamero. I will definitely spank you. Liu, that's impossible. I will never go to Jinsokyo until I can beat you. Kamero, I will beat you to death and never leave my own world. Kamero subconsciously touched her little butt. Well, she must not see Yumi. Although she will not be rolled on the keyboard, she may really be spanked. But, although I'm a coward, it feels good to commit suicide across the network cable. Hey, Yumi, 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 Yumi. What can you do to me? Yakumo Yukari did not speak again, but put down the divination tool in her hand. Haha, you are not coming to Jinsokyo, but we did not say that we will not meet somewhere else. According to the guidance of the stars, we will meet soon. Although it is impossible to predict the existence of a mysterious chat group, the idol monster Yakumo Yukari can still predict one's own recent fortune. I'm really looking forward to it on the first day of the competition. Because Liu damaged the venue, the time was extended a lot longer than the original plot. It was already evening when it ended. Everyone came to the rest area. As soon as they sat down, Wang Ergao and the others ran over aggressively, spitting in front of Zangchulan one after another. Pa. Don't shake the lotus. Oh, your fighting power is not good. Facing everyone, Zangchulan said provocatively, you don't even know how to curse. This little fighting power is completely useless to me. Believe it or not, I will kill you now. Facing the shameless Zangchulan, everyone was angry. When Zangchulan saw that he had aroused public anger, he quickly protected Zusan and others in front of him. The rules of the competition do not allow you to attack contestants in private. This is the Shianchi mansion. You can't be so presumptuous, you fucking. Hey junior uncle master. Zangchulan greeted Zhang Lingyu as soon as he saw him coming out. I said, don't call me junior uncle master. I can't afford to lose that. Zhang Lingyu glanced at Zangchulan and immediately turned around and left. Chapter 52 vs. Wind Swallow. Facing Zangchulan's unshakable attitude, everyone was speechless and said that if they met him on the field, they would give him a hard time. I'm talking about Chulan. Taoist Jian came up and leaned on Zangchulan's shoulder and asked, if I were to ask you, your strength is not weak either. You are good at golden light and thunder. Why are you doing these tricks? Hehehe. As soon as Taoist Jian finished asking, Zangchulan laughed obscenely. About this, Zangchulan waved to Zusan and Zusi, and several people gathered together curiously. Taoist Jian, do you know that the rich woman Beishiksu opened a game online to bet on the winner of this Luotian Daijiro? I'll show my weakness to the enemy first, and I'll go all in when my odds go up. Hey, kid. Jian stared at Zangchulan. This kid is too black-hearted, but do you have the confidence to defeat the junior master? Jian admitted that Zangchulan had some skills, but facing Zhang Lingyu, don't blame me for not taking you with me when I get rich. My strength has increased greatly recently. I'm 100% sure that I can fight with all my strength against my junior master. If you want to bet, do it now. Otherwise, the odds will be different after I show my strength in a few days. Are you really sure? Jian seemed a little tempted. Of course, I will take you to get rich, because we have a good relationship. I won't tell anyone else. Okay, Liu came over and grabbed Zangchulan directly. You really want to bankrupt Beishiksu? Just take some wool. It's not easy for the girl. Yes, brother, you is right. Can you at least leave some money for the trip home? Ha 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 ha. At the end, both of them laughed. These two are really evil. Zusi took a puff of cigarette. You are so shameless to cheat the girl like this. It's rare that you say something human. Zusan looked at Zusi in surprise. That's right, I will hold back a month's salary later. At least leave some money for the girl's trip. Ha 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 ha. X3 people. What are they laughing at? Feng Bao looked at the three people laughing wildly and was a little confused. Don't mind them, the three of them are not human beings, they are going to cheat the girl. The battle list came out. Li Yu took a look and directly disrupted several pairs. With him, Butterfly, his first opponent tomorrow will be Feng Xian. Zhang Chulan will still play against Shan Shiteng. Li Yu doesn't care about the others. There is nothing to say, anyway, no matter what, they can't beat him. In the grove at night, Shan Shiteng was tied up by Feng Bao, but this time he was not buried, because Zhang Chulan came with him. You dare to attack the contestants in private. You are finished. Brother Shan, don't be angry. Zhang Chulan squatted down and smiled. I invited you here in this special way, because I want to compete with you in private. Because of special reasons, I need to hide my strength, so how about we play the game in private? Whoever loses will give up tomorrow. We will compete fairly here. You call this a fair competition? Shan Shiteng looked at the ropes tied up on his body and wanted to curse. Hey, this is all a misunderstanding. Zhang Chulan untied the rope directly. I'll beat you, the one who doesn't shake the blow lotus, first, and then find that crazy woman. Then you, Brother Shan, agree. Stop talking nonsense. Watch this. Facing Shan Shiteng, Zhang Chulan's body flashed with lightning, and lightning suddenly filled the positive space. 1 minute later. How can he be so strong? Shan Shiteng fell to the ground with a plop, his whole body black. The next day, after eating breakfast at the Xianxi mansion, Zhang Chulan and others came to the competition venue. Xingtong, are you here to watch your sister's game? Zhang Chulan saw Feng Xingtong in the audience at a glance. Several people immediately gathered together. Yeah, hahaha. Actually my dad suggested that my sister admit defeat yesterday, but my sister insisted on having a game. My game is later, so I'm here to watch it first. I hope my sister doesn't lose too badly. Feng Xingtong sighed. After saying that, Li Yu and Feng Xian were also ready to enter the venue. Feng Xian walked slowly into the venue from one side. Ding. A kunai was inserted into the ground opposite her. Swish. A figure flashed, and Li Yu's figure teleported directly, causing an uproar in the audience. So handsome. No matter how many times I see this teleportation, I think it's super handsome. This is the audience who has seen Flying Thunder God once on the edge of a cliff. TSK, pretending to be cool. Feng Xian looked at Li Yu's showy appearance and smacked her lips. In the audience, Feng Zhenghao also came to the audience to watch the game. He pushed his glasses on the bridge of his nose and looked at the two people who appeared in different ways. At this time, he was a little worried about the safety of his daughter. Last night, when he learned that Feng Xian's next opponent was Li Yu, he came to Feng Xian and asked her to admit defeat directly. After his investigation, Li Yu not only has the ability of space, but also has extremely powerful attack power. If you accidentally get hit, you will be either dead or injured. But Feng Xian is so stubborn. There is no way. He can only pray that his daughter will not be injured. Feng Zhenghao was thinking when he suddenly saw a figure not far away. He was very surprised by the figure's appearance. Senior Lu Jin, I didn't expect you to come to watch this competition. Feng Zhenghao walked up, smiled, and said respectfully. The person in front of him was Lu Linglang's great-grandfather, Lu Jin. Yeah. Lu Jin nodded. I came to see Feng Yatao beat up that boy. Yesterday, Li Yu's head was blown up, which made Lu Linglang's forehead swollen all night. This made Lu Jin feel distressed. But the two of them were fighting in a formal competition, and Lu Jin could only bear it, no matter how distressed he was. So today, he came to the scene, hoping to see Feng Xian beat up Li Yu. After all, Feng Xian's strength is not weak, and he is also very famous in the alien world. Hearing Lu Jin's words, Feng Zhenghao smiled bitterly. If that's the case, then my girl may disappoint Senior Lu. Are you so sure? Lu Jin was a little confused. I remember that Feng's ability is to travel through space, right? Alas, I don't know where this Li Yu came from. There is no previous information, but his strength is ridiculously strong. The other party also has the ability of space, and his attack power is very strong. Oh, then I have to take a good look. Lu Jin didn't see Li Yu take action yesterday. He just heard that his great-granddaughter was bullied. Hearing Feng Zhenghao say this, it aroused his great interest. Feeling Lu Jin's gaze on the stands, Li Yu sighed. This little old man is quite vindictive. But does this count as blocking a disaster for the old master? He doesn't have to be hit in the eyes by Lu Jin. Liu ignored Lu Jin's gaze and then said to Feng Xian, who was not far away, "Let's make a quick fight and then we can go and watch your brother's match with Zhang Chulan and others." "Okay." Feng Xian nodded. "In that case, then I'll show my ugliness." Chapter 53 Fancy Competition. As she spoke, she launched an attack towards Liu. She casually threw a punch, which seemed to be refracted by space and suddenly appeared behind Liu, trying to sneak attack him. Unfortunately, Liu had already sensed her attack under his observation haki. He just leaned aside slightly and dodged Feng Xian's fist. He didn't even move his feet. "You really made a fool of yourself," Liu commented objectively. "Feng Xian, don't you have any other moves?" Liu asked. "If you don't have any, I will use my strength. Watch this." Feng Xian also knew that she might not be able to beat Liu, so she simply called out her own special skills. She waved her fists continuously in the distance. Through her ability, these fists appeared around Liu and attacked Liu at various tricky angles. Don't say it. This move looks very strong at first glance, but it's just at first glance. Liu stood in place, swinging his body left and right. Even if Feng Xian's fists can fold space, she only has two fists. When attacking, you must retract your fist before punching. Under Liu's observation, the trajectory of the attack was clearly sensed. The continuous attacks did not even make Liu move his feet. Swish. This time, Feng Xian's whole body crossed the space and came behind Liu. "You can stand still with your fist. I don't believe you can still move this time." Feng Xian appeared above Liu and kicked Liu's back of the head with a sweeping kick. Snap. Liu's figure disappeared on the spot and a slap sounded throughout the venue. Feng Xian only felt a pain in her buttocks. This bastard actually hit her buttocks. Feng Xian's face turned red instantly. I don't know if it was because of shyness or anger. Feng Xian relied on her sense to hit the back, but Liu's figure flashed and Feng Xian's attack missed. Damn it. If you have the ability, don't hide. Feng Xian attacked in succession, but Liu dodged them all. Too slow, too slow. Although space travel is a very useful ability, your movements are too slow. Even if the attack is unpredictable, it is still easy to dodge if it is too slow. Liu dodged calmly and taught Feng Xian while dodging. "You talk nicely, but how far can you go?" Feng Xian was very dissatisfied with Liu's preaching. "Then let you see it carefully." Liu directly threw more than 20 kunai in all directions. Then the figure disappeared. Snap. Feng Xian only felt a pain in her buttocks and another one. Question mark? But the next second Liu's figure appeared next to a kunai. "This is my technique, which can instantly move to a place with spatial coordinates, called Flying Thunder God. Unlike you, I teleported twice in just 1 second. Twice." Feng Xian instantly turned back to look at her buttocks, only to see that the round part wrapped in the tights was printed with a mark. This guy is so fast. Liu just teleported behind him within a second and then teleported to another coordinate point. Swish. Liu's figure disappeared. Feng Xian immediately felt something was wrong, and sure enough, there was another snap. This bastard. Feng Xian's figure flashed. She wanted to fight against Flying Thunder God by space shuttle. But unfortunately, no matter where she appeared in the venue, Liu could keep up with her speed and be one step faster than her. In the venue, two figures kept flashing and snapping sounds rang out one after another. People were dazzled. "Stop. I admit defeat." Snap. "That. Sorry, I'm so good at it." Liu waved his hands awkwardly, cough cough cough, mainly because he felt too good and couldn't stop. Feng Xian looked at Liu with murderous eyes. This bastard actually bullied her in public, and it was also because Liu's movements were extremely fast that outsiders couldn't see his movements clearly. It was purely a competition between the two of them. Feng Xian gave Liu a look like this. "Wait for me, I'll remember you," and then left the stage angrily. Liu also touched his nose awkwardly and followed him out. Feeling the warmth of his palm, Liu felt that he had been letting himself go more and more recently. How to say it? It must be the fault of the Sharingan. After all, every Uchiha clan member who gets the manger key will become abnormally free. This is definitely the fault of the Sharingan, and it has nothing to do with me. Liu thought so shamelessly. In fact, Liu is closer to his previous life's personality now. In his previous life, Liu was not very old and his personality was very eccentric. Especially when he was hanging out with a group of friends at comic exhibitions, playing cosplay, wearing leather suits, and being very second year. After crossing to the world of Yuanxing, he had mediocre qualifications for so many years, which made him hide his personality tightly in this dangerous world. It was not until his strength soared recently that he slowly turned back into that second year boy. Where's your sister? After Liu left the stage, he came to the audience and saw Feng Xingtong, but not Feng Xian. My sister said she didn't want to see you, so she left by herself. Feng Xingtong, this honest child, spoke the truth. Liu, okay. Zhang Julan vs. Shan Shitong. Before the fight started, the audience was already talking. I don't know if the green talisman god can beat Zhang Billion. Of course. Beat her hard. This Zhang Billion is so infuriating. Yesterday, he provoked us and said that we have no fighting power if we curse at others. Damn, I really want to go down and beat him up myself. Everyone in the audience wanted to see Zhang Julan get beaten up. Amid the discussion of the crowd, Zhang Julan came to the center of the competition venue. He first glanced at the audience in the stands. Seeing the indignant expressions of the crowd, he was very satisfied. Shan Shitong, please enter the venue quickly. Just when everyone thought that a hearty fight would take place next, the referee of the Xianxi mansion called Shan Shitong to enter the venue several times, but Shan Shitong was nowhere to be seen. Since Shan Shitong cannot enter the competition on time, he is deemed to have forfeited. As the referee of Xianxi mansion read out the announcement, the audience went wild. What's going on? What a conspiracy. What tricks did Gao Bei play again? Don't want Billion Zhang Julan. Bah. What kind of key body source inheritor? What a joke. Fuck you. Give us back. This kind of competition is not worthy of us. By the way, brother, did we spend money? Yeah, we didn't spend money, but I bet on Shan Shitong. Then how much did you bet? 2 months living expenses. My condolences, brother. What about you? Me. I bet on Zhang Julan. Ha 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 damn. Brothers, beat him up. Chapter 54 Old bitch. The joys and sorrows of human beings are not the same. Zhang Julan only felt that the people in the stands were a little noisy at this time. It doesn't matter. Shout. It's okay as long as you win. Zhang Julan hummed a little tune and walked out of the competition venue. Before he walked out of the venue, the poor guy who had been beaten up by Zhang Julan jumped down from the stands. He couldn't stand it anymore. Zhang Julan, you despicable weakling, show your true colors today. He shouted and rushed towards Zhang Julan, and then was pressed to the ground by the referee of the Xianxi mansion without the slightest hesitation. Boy, this is not the place for you to seek revenge and fight privately. Although the referee of the Xianxi mansion was also unhappy with Zhang Julan, the rules were the rules, and they couldn't let this kid beat Zhang Julan. Master, I have no disrespect to Longhu Mountain or Luotian Daijio. I just can't stand this despicable and shameless villain. The young man said angrily with his arms pressed by two Taoist priests. Zhang Julan, if you are a man, come back and fight me. Hearing the shouting of the people behind him, Zhang Julan looked back, then turned around, stretched out his left hand and slowly raised his middle finger. Then he actually raised his orchid finger and made a woman's gesture. Fuck. Beat this guy to death. Zhang Billion. Facing Zhang Julan's provocation, not only this guy couldn't stand it, but even the other spectators in the stands couldn't help it. Zhang Julan, leave quickly after the match. The referee of the Xianxi mansion urged Zhang Julan to do so. Oh, okay, thank you for your hard work. Zhang Julan smiled and then left the scene in a flash. His actions made the 10 masters in the stands at a loss for words. Fuck, this young man. This is Zhang Julan. Old Lu, what do you think? Wan Ai asked Lucy beside him, while leaning on a cane. I'll sit and watch. LVCI replied, he's just a young boy, what else can I do? Let's get in touch with him, and see if we can come up with something. Hearing LVCI's words, Wan Ai was a little worried. Don't we need to consider the old Taoist priest? Old Taoist priest? LVCI narrowed his eyes and continued, it is because of the concern for the old Taoist priest that we choose this time. Otherwise, when Zhang Chulan becomes a member of the Taoist priest's mansion, it will be difficult for us to ask him. Indeed. Old LV, you are more careful. The two old men were planning something in the stands, but they never thought that Zhang Chulan was not someone they could control. Just when Zhang Chulan was alone, two men in suits, one tall and one short, came over. Seeing them staring at Zhang Chulan, they said, Zhang Chulan, the two old men, LVCI and Wang Ai, from the Ten Lords, invite you to come over. It turns out that you can't do it anymore, so let's go. Zhang Chulan didn't say anything nonsense. He knew that he couldn't avoid this, and he didn't plan to hide anymore. After all, they were tired after hiding for so many years. After a while, Zhang Chulan followed the two to the outside of a building. Zhang Chulan walked into the building, and the first thing he saw was two old men. The one sitting on the left was Wang Ai, and the one sitting on the right was Lucy Ai. The names of these two people can be said to be completely opposite to their personalities. Wang Ai is not kind, and Lucy Ai is not kind. These two old foxes just sit there, making ordinary people feel stressed. Zhang Chulan, right? I don't like to beat around the bush. Hand over the source of the key body, and you can ask for any conditions you want. Lucy Ai said directly. Hearing this, Zhang Chulan was silent for a second. He scratched his head and smiled. Oh, two old men. I really don't know about this. Quan Crossing also came to me at the beginning, but he didn't get it either. Listening to Zhang Chulan's explanation, Lucy Ai sneered. Zhang Chulan, you should also understand the principle that a man is innocent, but guilty of possessing a treasure. As long as you hand over the source of key, no one will bother you anymore. Two old men, you are really making things difficult for a young man like me. I really have nothing to give you to. If I had something, I would have taken it out long ago. Zhang Chulan smiled. Since you insist on not cooperating, don't blame us. Seeing that Zhang Chulan was not cooperating, Lucy Ai did not ask any more questions. He waved his hand and asked Lu Gong, who had been waiting for a long time, to take action. Zhang Chulan quickly dodged when he saw this, and then looked at Lu Gong. It looks like you are going to use force. Zhang Chulan stretched his hand to his lower back. Wang Ai, the smiling tiger, narrowed his eyes and looked at Zhang Chulan, thinking that he and Lucy Ai couldn't control a young man like you. So what if I use force? Then let's see who is stronger. Li Yu's figure instantly appeared beside Zhang Chulan. It turned out that behind Zhang Chulan, there was a flying thunder god Kunai. Zhang Chulan was just transferring ki into the Kunai. So Li Yu, who sensed it, immediately appeared beside Zhang Chulan. You guy. How dare you break in without permission? Although Lu Gong knew Li Yu, he naturally didn't take him seriously because he had the support of the 10 masters. Get out. Boom. Li Yu directly punched Lu Gong in the chest with a strange force. Lu Gong flew backwards instantly with a sound of bone fracture. With a loud bang, his back was tightly pressed against the wall. The bluestone brick wall was cracked by the impact. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Lu Gong fainted. How dare you? How dare you hurt people for no reason? Lucy Ai cares most about his own bloodline. Seeing Lu Gong being severely injured by Li Yu's punch, he was immediately furious. So what if the person who beat you up, who do you two think you are? Come and interrogate my little brother? Brother you then Lucy Ai still wants someone to search my memory. Zhang Chulan hid behind Li Yu and complained in a mean way. Come on, I'll stand here and you come to search one for me and see. Li Yu stretched out his hand and hooked his finger at Lucy Ai. Damn Junior. How dare you talk to me like that? Seeing that Li Yu was so ungrateful, a powerful ki erupted from Lucy Ai's body. The ki on Lucy Ai's body formed a wave of wind and rolled over Li Yu, trying to show his strength and overwhelm others. But, go to hell. Boom. Li Yu raised his leg directly, covered with armed color domineering. Then he stepped hard on the ground. Super strength plus armed color. Painful kick. Get out of the way. A big hole instantly exploded under Li Yu's feet. Then, the ground collapsed forward. A powerful air wave, mixed with a huge impact force, swept towards Wang Ai and Lucy Ai. At the same time, the entire building began to collapse. The walls behind the two were shaken into small rubble at the same time. The two old bastards looked panicked, and they dodged to the side the moment the surroundings collapsed. The bird walk under the moon is coming soon. Please click to collect and read. Thank you. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Zhangchulan is under my protection. With just one blow, the entire building was smashed to pieces. Lu Gong's half-dead body was left unprotected, and he was dying from the impact. The two old bastards retreated more than 10 meters in one breath before they stopped. Looking at the damage caused by Li Yu's blow, they were sweating profusely. Zhangchulan is under my protection, understand? Li Yu looked at the two with a cold face. I'll ask one more question now. Who else wants the source of ki? You can come to me. Li Yu stood in place with his hands folded in front of his chest. Not far away, Susan and Zusi came after hearing the news. Seeing Li Yu alone fighting against two 10 masters, they were shocked. Zhangchulan, let's go. Okay. Zhangchulan grinned. See you later, both of you. If you want the source of ki, find my brother Yu. If you can withstand his fist, you're halfway to success. Zhangchulan didn't forget to taunt them before leaving. Seeing that there was no chance for them to appear, Zusan and Zusi turned around and slipped away. Only two old bastards with sullen faces were left here. Slightly different from the timeline of the anime, in the live-action version, Zhu Xiang came to Longhu Mountain because of Hu Ji, the lone shark who was attacked by Quan Crossing, resulting in his death. So in order to avoid this, Zhangchulan and his friends directly took down Hu Ji. And this time, the matter of Longhu Mountain was handed over to Zusan and Zusi because of Li Yu's guarantee. So early the next morning, Zhangchulan and his friends came to the room of the old Taoist priest. Zhangchulan certainly knew what the old Taoist priest wanted to talk to him about, but knowing it was one thing, and the procedures had to be followed. In a room in the Taoist priest's mansion, Li Yu and Zusan did not enter the room. There were only 5 people in the room. They were the old Taoist priest, Lu Jin, Shan Jinsong, Zhangchulan and Zusi. A few little guys who wanted to join in the fun were directly driven out by Lu Jin. Zusi said, "Old Heavenly Master, excuse me." The old Heavenly Master laughed, "Ha ha ha, it's okay, I want to see Chulan too." Zhangchulan was so dramatic that he knelt on the ground and said to the old Heavenly Master, "Master, please tell me about my grandfather's past." Lu Jin said, "Humph, look at how anxious you are, kid. You are not the only ones who know about what happened back then. What can't you tell me?" Lu Jin said to Zhangchulan again, "Zhangchulan, I was not involved in what happened back then, but there is one thing that is true. That is, your grandfather did collude with the Quanxing demons, and he also swore brotherhood with them. At that time, it was not just your grandfather, but also many famous and upright people, all of whom swore brotherhood with the then Quanxing leader Wu Zhensheng, and became brothers of the opposite sex. We call them the 36 Thieves." Then he began to explain the Jiashan rebellion to Zhangchulan. At the same time, outside the door, a group of people were eavesdropping at the door. Beishixu's face was full of gossip. "I didn't expect Billian's grandfather to be so powerful." At this time, a group of black key enveloped everyone, and there were little ghosts in it. Seeing this scene, Lu Linglang said, "Don't resist. This is my great-grandfather's 5 ghosts technique. They must have discovered that we were eavesdropping." A group of curious little ghosts were taught a lesson. Li Yu watched with relish and even took a video. However, there is one thing, because of Li Yu's appearance, Feng Bao had hope, so she didn't get angry here, hoping to escape and avoid a beating. The story in the house was not good, so Li Yu and Zusan sat outside and waited. After the conversation, Zhangchulan and Zusi also came out. At this time, a group of people came to Zhangchulan aggressively. Zhangchulan looked at the group of people coming aggressively. Scared, he quickly said, "What's wrong? Are you really going to break the rules and beat people outside the venue?" Kaijin Hua quickly explained, "No, we just want to." "Forget it, Linglong, you say it." Lu Linglong blushed. "Hua, are you crazy? My grandfather is not far away." If he knows I said this, I'll be dead. Beishixu said with a righteous face. I'll say it. Kaijinhua and Lulinglang both showed admiration. It has to be Xiao Bei. Beishixu came to Feng Ergao, bowed to Feng Ergao and said, Brother Ergao, I'm counting on you. Lulinglang, Kaijinhua, Feng Ergao, it seems that you mean to go to Feng Ergao to ask for it! Exclamation mark. Then, Feng Ergao said disdainfully, huh, you bunch of people, you were acting like nymphomaniacs just now, and now you pretend to be like that again. Let me say it. Zhang Chulan looked at the group of people chattering about something, wondering what they were thinking. Then, Zhang Chulan saw Feng Ergao, who had fought with Sister Baoa, walking towards him. Feng Ergao said with a righteous face, I'm not kidding you, I'm seriously and sincerely asking you, Zhang Chulan. Zhang Chulan nodded. Well, you say. Feng Ergao said, please let us see your 20th. Kunkan, Zhang Chulan, grass, a kind of plant. Fuck, what the hell do you mean? Do I look like a gay? Or do you think I'm easy to bully? I'm afraid of myself when I go crazy. Zhang Chulan was numb. In the process of numbness, he also felt that his personality was insulted. Feng Ergao quickly explained, that's not what I meant. Listen to me. You misunderstood Zhang Chulan. No one here is interested in your 20th. We just want to see the toad sand on it. In today's society, this kind of restricted type of strange skills has almost been lost, especially the toad sand, which is very rare even in ancient books. We just don't want to miss the opportunity to observe this kind of restriction up close. It is definitely not for any shrinking purpose. Zhang Chulan suddenly realized, oh, so it's for this purpose. I misunderstood you. After hearing this, Kaijinhua said excitedly, what do you think, Zhang Chulan? Do you want to achieve our goal? Zhang Chulan said, play, eggs, go. Why don't you go to see the old Taoist's 20th? Then, Zhang Chulan changed the subject and said to Feng Ergao, don't you want to see my 20th? Feng Ergao nodded, yeah. Zhang Chulan said, if you want to see my 20th, then I also want to see your 20th. Hearing this, Feng Ergao was stunned, then blushed inexplicably, and said to Zhang Chulan hesitantly, in this case, we have to go to a place where there is no one. Zhang Chulan, you are blushing like a bubble teapot, and what does your shy expression mean? Exclamation mark. Zhang Chulan said in horror, get out. Chapter 56 Who destroyed whom? Lulinglan quickly tried to smooth things over and said, forget it, let's not talk about this for now. Zhang Chulan, we are going to hold a banquet tonight. Do you want to come? It's just right to bring Feng Bao. Zhang Chulan was puzzled. Banquet? Lulinglan nodded. Yes, it just happens to be the night of the full moon today, and everyone decided to get together. After hearing this, Zhang Chulan thought for a moment and nodded. Okay, well, it's settled then. After finalizing this, today's competition officially began 16-8 first. Zhang Chulan's opponent today is Tang Wenlang. Please enter the venue as soon as possible if your name is called. Zhang Chulan. Tang Wenlang. Hearing the referee of the Xianqi mansion calling his name, Zhang Chulan sighed and then said to everyone, I'll go in first. Yeah. Not pretending today. Before entering the venue, Li Yu stood in the aisle, with his hands folded in front of his chest, his back against the wall, and asked Zhang Chulan, who was full of fighting spirit, I won't pretend anymore. I've been pretending to be a grandson for decades, but today I can't pretend anymore when facing the people of Tang sect. Grandpa was bitten by the Dan of Tang sect. I can still remember his face before he died. Our family has been hiding for years because of this key source. What have we done wrong? I, Zhang Chulan, am just a villain. Let me get some interest back from Tang Wenlang today. In the original novel, Zhang Chulan took the initiative to find Tang Wenlang to turn enemies into friends. Was it really his sincerity? Actually, it wasn't. With Zhang Chulan's narrow-mindedness, how could he let go of the revenge for killing his grandfather? All the reasons were just because of strength. If he had the strength of the old Xianqi, he would have beaten him up long ago. Now it's different. He is now a humanoid electromagnetic cannon. Contestants enter the arena, and the competition begins. In the audience, the unlucky guy who still has no name looked at Zhang Chulan, and two Taoists stood behind him. Unlucky guy, master, what are you doing standing behind me? I'm not making trouble. I'm just watching how Zhang Chulan loses. Tang Wenlang, you must do your best. Don't lose to this unlucky Zhang Chulan. Don't be a hater. Haven't you heard of the saying that, if you hate someone deeply, you will naturally become a fan? Wang Yi lazily came to the unlucky guy and said, I will be his fan. Are you kidding me? Hush. Wang Yi narrowed his eyes and said, be quiet. Zhang Chulan's aura is completely different today. We should be able to see a different Zhang Chulan. Below, the two entered the arena at the same time. The competition between Zhang Chulan and Tang Wenlang began. The stands were still full of people, of course. Most of them were Zhang Chulan's haters. Unlucky. Zhang Chulan. The uniform shouting on the stage. Those who didn't know would think that Zhang Chulan had many fans. Please take care of me, brother Tang Wenlang. It's our first meeting. Zhang Chulan still had a playful smile. Don't try to get close to me. I'm not here for the competition today. I'm here to destroy you. Tang Wenlang said viciously, your grandfather Zhang Huai killed 7 people from our Tang sect in Saguniang Mountain, including my uncle Yang Lai. You have to pay for this debt. How funny. You coveted my grandfather's key source, but you failed to snatch it. You are not as skilled as him, but you still have the nerve to seek revenge on the victim. Then who should I seek revenge on for my grandfather? Since you want to destroy me today, I won't be polite to you either. Zhang Chulan's aura surged as he thought about his grandfather's appearance before his death. Then let's see the real thing. To be honest, Zhang Chulan's performance in the first 2 games made Tang Wenlang not take him seriously at all. He was wrapped in poisonous barriers all over his body, and his figure flashed and rushed towards Zhang Chulan. Zzzz. Zhang Chulan was wrapped in electric current, and the electric current flowed directly into the ground. Wow. A stream of black sand instantly gushed out of the ground. The black sand blocked Tang Wenlang's way and wrapped around him. Oh my god. What is this? Zhang Chulan, who has always won by despicable means, showed a different method today. What a bunch of illiterates. Can't you see that this is iron sand hidden in the earth? Use electromagnetic force to gather the iron sand and then vibrate it at a high frequency. Don't let it be touched, otherwise it's different for someone to be disabled. Liyu's voice spread throughout the venue. This. Lightning can actually be used in this way. How strong is the control to control the violent lightning so delicately? Zhang Chulan is really impressive today. The 2 commentators on the stage completely lost the energy they had in looking down on Zhang Chu in the past 2 days. Especially the young people on the stage. Seeing Zhang Chulan controlling the sandstorm like iron sand to wreak havoc in the field, they were shocked. In a moment, Tang Wenlang was forced into a corner by Zhang Chulan. Since you are doing the first day, don't blame me for doing the 15th. Iron Sand Burial. This is the ultimate move that Zhang Chulan practiced after watching Naruto and cosplaying Gaara. Ah! Tang Wenlang screamed and was buried by the iron sand. 5 seconds later, the iron sand dispersed. Tang Wenlang was lying on the ground with tattered clothes and blood all over his body. Winner. Zhang Chulan. Grandpa, I will get some interest back for you today, and I will get your debt back for you bit by bit in the future. Tang Wenlang was seriously injured, and the rescue team of Langhu Mountain immediately began to treat him. The final result was, the tendons of his hands and feet were all broken. Zhang Chulan showed his fangs in front of everyone for the first time. However, the grievances between the two have spread with the conversation, and Tang Wenlang himself said that he wanted to abolish Zhang Chulan, so no one thought that Zhang Chulan was cruel. It can only be said that the alien world is a world where the strong prey on the weak. If you are weak, you are wrong. The next game, Liu vs. Jia Zhengliang. You are also a gang that can go anywhere, right? Jia Zhengliang looked at Liu and knew that the man in front of him was very powerful. So he decided to go all out. So what? Your useless brother has a bad character and deserves to be taught a lesson. Liu was not going to spoil him. Then I'll collect some interest from you first. Then Jia Zhengliang stopped talking nonsense and directly controlled 10 flying knives to rush towards Liu. After the previous battle, Liu's spatial ability required coordinates. Although his golden body attack was strong, as long as he opened up the distance. Too naive. Liu planned to make a quick decision and face Jia Zhengliang, who was quickly opening up the distance. Liu jumped up directly into the air. Seal. Zijiao Shu Wu Shen Heiyan Fire Style Great Fire Extinction. It is different from the Great Fire Extinction of a large-scale sea of fire. Great Fire Extinction is a technique that gathers chakra behind the throat and spits out a fireball that looks like a falling meteorite to the ground. The power can instantly ignite the earth, which is stronger than the Great Fire Extinction. With Liyu's miraculous power, the fire extinguished and directly covered the entire competition venue. What the hell is this? Chapter 57. Don't listen to gossip. What the hell is this? This was the only thought Jia Zhenglian had before he passed out. Liu dispersed the flames. He had to disperse them. If he roasted them for a few more seconds, Jia Zhenglian would be cooked. In just a few seconds, the whole venue was emitting white heat. The ground was scorched and hot. Looking at Jia Zhenglian, he was lying there naked on the ground with white smoke. His clothes were burned to ashes. He was lying there naked without a single hair on his body. Well, very white. The whole audience burst into cheers, and Liu once again demonstrated his powerful strength. Liu's methods are getting more and more unclear. Space, flame, physical skills, all as strong as monsters. Compared with the younger generation, they are not at the same level at all. Liu looked at the naked Jia Zhenglian and sneered. It's quite white, but a little small. Then he turned and left. For Jia Zhenglian, who dared to pretend in front of him, Liu would naturally not show mercy. What's the point of collecting some interest from you first? You are nothing. Who are you talking to? Do you have any hair? Not even a single hair. Many people took Liu's words seriously, and soon the nickname of Zhao Jia Zhenglian caught up with Zhang Chulin's Buyeobi Lion. After watching the game, Lu Linglang and others reminded Zhang Chulin and others again, don't forget the bonfire party in the evening, and then go to play by yourself. Bonfire party? Zhang Chulin rubbed his chin. Why is there no such part in the plot? That brother you sent me? Tell you? How can I watch you walk the bird under the moon if I tell you this part? Liu said in his heart, but on the surface he remained calm. Instead, he patted Zhang Chulin's shoulder calmly and said, maybe it's the butterfly effect, who cares so much? Anyway, I'll go and play with you when I have a chance. Hehe. That makes sense. Looking at the cheerful Zhang Chulin, Liu laughed even happier, hoping that you can still be so happy when you wake up tomorrow morning. The good show that Liu had been looking forward to all day was finally going to be staged in the evening. Bonfire party at night. Small groups gathered together, chatting animatedly. Liu, Zhang Lingaiu, Bei Shixu, and Zhuge King gathered together. Liu deliberately stayed away from Zhang Chulin. He was too embarrassed to come over to Zhang Lingaiu. It was just right for Gao and the others to get Zhang Chulin drunk. Liu looked at Zhuge King, who squinted his eyes and looked like a cunning fox. Brotherly Liu's strength is really hard to find a rival among the younger generation. Lingaiu really admires him. Zhang Lingaiu was very polite to Liu, and was also very polite. It can be said that he was very polite to everyone except Zhang Chulin. Hey, this is a special case. In fact, if we talk about talent, Zhang Chulin is the scariest. Speaking of Zhang Chulin, Zhuge King and Zhang Lingaiu looked at another group of people in the distance. Zhang Chulin was surrounded by Kanglang and others, and became the center. Yeah, no one expected Zhang Chulin to do such a thing today. I heard that brother Lingaiu had fought with Zhang Chulin. What is his specific strength? Zhang Lingaiu did not answer Zhuge King's question, but fell into deep thought. Master Lingaiu, why do you hate Zhang Chulin so much? Bei Shixu asked with blinking eyes. Is it that obvious? You are. And it's particularly obvious. Bei Shixu rolled her eyes. Don't you know, if it's that obvious? Even a blind man can see it. Is it because of this? You're Yinwulai. After Bei Shixu finished speaking, Zhuge King stood up and left. Brother Zhuge, where are you going? Zhang Lingaiu turned around and asked Zhuge King, who stood up. I'm not interested in other people's gossip. Zhuge King left after he finished speaking, but all book friends knew that this guy ran to the corner and used Ting Feng Yin. Don't look at me. Liu looked at Bei Shixu. I know you want to ask Zhang Lingaiu who got his first blood. Yes. Bei Shixu nodded. We are so familiar with each other. Just tell me. I promise not to tell others. It's not a big deal. Oh my god. Zhang Lingaiu has such a dark history. Zhuge King was shocked, and then his little expression was tut tut tut. Impossible. You just want to tell others. Zhang Lingai directly exposed Beishixu's little thoughts. Seeing that Zhang Lingai refused to let go, Beishixu's big eyes rolled around and turned to Li Yu and said, brother Yu, you also persuade Taoist Lingai you also want to know. Hearing Beishixu's address, Li Yu rolled his eyes. Because of the powerful strength, plus Zhang Chulan called him brother Yu all the time, they all followed Zhang Chulan to shout, but he was younger than them. He was only 18 years old. I don't want to know. Li Yu took a sip of ice beer, because I already know who it is. I'm not too curious. What? Li Yu's words shocked the three people. Zhang Lingai became even more panicked. It's impossible that my master doesn't know about this. Don't cheat me. Don't say I cheated you. The woman who took your blood from Lingai Zenran is not only very famous in the alien world, but also a great beauty. Moreover, one of the characters in her name is related to the season, right? Do you want me to be more specific? Don't. Zhang Lingai hurriedly stopped him. Li Yu's words made Zhang Lingai completely believe it. How could the Quangxing 4 Zhang Kuang not be famous? Hei Zhe character is also related to the 4 seasons, and she is a great beauty. Where did Li Yu get this information? At this time, Zhang Lingai suddenly thought, could it be that Zhang Chulan also knows? Yes, Zhang Chulan also knows, so he is actually very envious of you. You too. One Yan Wu Lei envies the other 10,000-year-old Chunan's Yang Lei. One of you has forbidden sand and envies you, a Yan Lei that can be inserted with a thought. What an awkward combination. Brother Yu, just tell me. Beishixu's curiosity was aroused, and now her heart was like a cat scratching. The answer was clearly in front of her, but she couldn't get it. Don't worry, I promise that only the three of us will know about today's conversation. I say. As soon as Li Yu started talking, Beishixu and Zuj King's expressions immediately became serious. Don't think about it. This is the privacy of Master Lingai. I won't talk about other people's privacy. Zhang Lingai immediately breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this. And you can't guarantee that only the three of us know. What? I'm very tight-lipped. Beishixu pouted her lips and gestured to show that she was very tight-lipped. But a certain stinky fox is hiding in the dark and eavesdropping with the wind song. Li Yu continued to drink beer. Don't you think so? Brothers Yuji, you say you don't like to listen to gossip, but in fact you don't like to listen to it in person, but hide in the dark and use the wind song. Fuck this old man. Beishixu and Zhang Lingai were stunned and turned their heads directly to Zuj King in the corner. Zuj King, who was exposed, could only greet with an embarrassed face. Hi. So embarrassing. Chapter 58 Under the Moon. Looking at Zhang Chulan, everyone was still trying their best to get him drunk. Zhang Chulan, I'll teach you a sentence in Xianjin dialect. If you learn it wrong, show off. The eldest of the three brothers in Xianjin Xianateo looked at Zhang Chulan, who was already a little drunk, with a cunning look on his face. Come on. Who's afraid of who? Zhang Chulan was already a little drunk. Fire persimmon live persimmon. Zhang Chulan learned it with a big tongue. Wrong. Everyone hurriedly cheered him to show off. Zhang Chulan was also a man, and without saying a word, he went in with a bottle of beer. Okay. Zhang Chulan is a man. Come on. Zhang Chulan, I toast you a glass. Come on. I toast you a glass too. Zhang Chulan, come and have a drink. Come on. You've already drank with them, and there are still the two of us. Kai Jinhua, Yun, Kanglong, Feng Ergao and others were all drinking with Zhang Chulan. After drinking, Zhang Chulan lost consciousness. Feng Ergao and Kanglong and others started to cheer crazily again. Come on, Zhang Chulan. Who else in the world can have the chastity seal? Please let us open our eyes. That's right, Zhang Chulan. You are a man who can conquer the sky, and you still care about these small details. Zhang Chulan said excitedly. Haha. Do you really want to see it? Yes. Everyone responded loudly when they saw that Zhang Chulan had been tricked. He put his hand on the zipper of his pants and shouted, okay, then let you open your eyes. After that, Zhang Chulan ran towards a high stone. Everyone hurriedly followed. Hurry up, Zua, it's done. Lu Linglang specially called Beishixu when passing by. Seeing this, Li Yu hurriedly followed. He had been waiting for so many days just for this. Zuj King also ran away in a flash. To ease the embarrassing situation, standing on the big rock, Zhang Julan looked at the crowd. You all want to see it so badly, right? Yes. Then I'll open your eyes and watch it for me. After that, Zhang Julan took off his QZ directly. Li Yu had already turned on the group video recording function just for this moment and set up a high definition camera for double backup, focusing on a steady. The wind blows and the dandan is cool. Zhang Julan walks Kun under the moon, although Kun is not big, but it wins in youth. Seeing Zhang Julan pull down his pants, everyone was shocked. Fuck, look, I see. There are symbols composed of ki flowing faintly on it. It's a pity that it seems a little blurry. Can't see clearly. Can't see clearly. Can't see clearly. Everyone started to shout, and even Sister Baoa was waving her little fist and shouting that she couldn't see clearly. Can't see clearly? Hearing someone shouting that he couldn't see clearly, Zhang Julan, with a red face, smiled and said, then let me adjust the true key, and I will naturally be able to see clearly. You can't see it, and you can't hear it. Get up. The next moment, Zhang Julan used the golden light spell, and his Kun radiated golden light like a little sun. Zhang Julan kept shaking Kun and dancing, trying to let everyone see it. Feng Gao, too wonderful. Completely different from the exaggerated design, these runes are full of classical beauty. Kaijinhua, sure enough, this kind of restriction is composed of special symbols. Zhang Julan looked at the shocked eyes of the people around him, feeling particularly proud. He shouted, how? Isn't it very nice of you to watch the birds under the moon? Exclamation mark. Click, 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 click. Everyone's cell phones kept ringing. Amid the noise, Zhang Julan danced wildly, revealing his sleepiness. And behind a tree not far away, Zhang Lingai was confused. He looked at this scene and felt very ashamed. Is this embarrassing Zhang Julan? This is embarrassing the Xianqi mansion. He must not be allowed to win the championship. Otherwise, I will not have the face to stay in the Longhu Mountain Xianqi mansion. The master is really wrong this time. The next morning, Zhang Julan got up dazedly, holding his head. Stretching, Zhang Julan stood up and greeted everyone. Good morning, everyone. As soon as he finished speaking, his pants fell off. Everyone stared at him and laughed. Zhang Julan's face gradually became ugly. Obviously he remembered something. Then he pulled up his pants while saying carefully, everyone, I didn't do anything out of the ordinary last night. We just had a little drink and dance. Zhang Julan held on to a glimmer of hope, hoping that last night was all an illusion. Right, it's just the moon setting, and the crows crying. Zusi gloated from the side, and you still say you are some little Neza. Do you know how many trees you destroyed last night? Zhang Julan's face turned ugly in an instant. I counted 13 trees. Li Yu added fuel to the fire. You know those trees. Enough. Don't say any more. Zhang Julan was so anxious that his voice changed. He jumped down and covered Zusi's mouth with his hand. Okay, everyone has been young. Zusi pulled Zhang Julan's hand away. However, you are the first one who came all the way to the Xianqi mansion to go crazy. Ha 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 ha, everyone couldn't hold it back. You, brother, you won't lie to me. You tell me everything is fake. Sorry, Julan, everything is true. Yes, your brother you is still the one who is watching the most. Zusan silently added a knife. Alien and will definitely become a legend in the world of extraordinary people. I'm optimistic about you. Kanglang gave Zhang Julan a thumbs up. Then, everyone didn't take pictures. Kanglang waved his hands quickly. No, how can we do such a wicked thing? That's good. Zhang Julan breathed a sigh of relief. As a result, Kanglang took out his mobile phone. I just recorded a video. Little bastard. I will kill you. Looking at Kanglang's mobile phone, Zhang Julan's fists hardened, his eyes turned red, and he chased after Kanglang. Although Kanglang is fat, his body movements are not slow at all. He climbed up the tree directly. You little bastard, get down here. Zhang Julan shouted angrily from below. Oh, come up, if you have the guts. Kanglang tapped the tree trunk under him with his fingers. Aren't you little Nessa? You little bastard, I will kill you. Seeing Kanglang talking about all kinds of things, Zhang Julan was about to explode. Besides, my good brother this was shot with a high definition camera. Oh, it's so clear in all directions. Gal. Zhang Chulan froze in place. He slowly turned around and saw Yu smiling at him and shaking the camera in his hand. Brother Yu, can I ask why you prepared a high definition camera in advance? Hey, guess. I'll tell you, if you guess right. Yu smiled politely. I guess your sister. Chapter 59. Rumors are flying everywhere. Thanks to the passers-by who like novels for their tips. Here I kowtow to my godfather. Guess. What a bullshit guess. Tell me if I guess right. If I guess right, do I need you to tell me? Zhang Chulan looked at Yu with a sad face. At this moment, he instantly understood that Yu must have known about this. Then he prepared a high definition camera in advance, waiting for him to get in. This old man. Zhang Chulan looked at Yu. Although he understood what was going on, he couldn't do anything to him. Who let him be the boss? Oh, today's battle schedule is coming. Kang Lang's words instantly made everyone find an excuse and run away immediately. Brother Yu, you can take pictures, but you didn't post it in the group. Zhang Chulan asked cautiously. Chulan Yu patted Zhang Chulan on the shoulder. As the saying goes, happiness is better shared than happiness alone, so. Zhang Chulan understood and pointed at Yu with a look of despair, trembling for a long time. Brother Yu, my lifelong reputation. Then Zhang Chulan opened the chat group with a look of despair and read the chat records. Yu, show everyone something fun. Yu, video. Yu, the content is too spicy. It is not recommended for Kalmaru to watch. Kalmaru, you said it was too late. My eyes are. Kurosaki Ichigo, is Zhang Chulan going crazy in the Shianchi mansion? Zao Gayo, how much did he drink? Lizaoyo, Puhahaha little Nizarayo, Sabono, I can't bear to look at it. Yakumo Yukari, TSK, it's a little small. Kalmaru, purple mom, you are still looking so carefully. Yakumo Yukari, what have we not seen in all these years? Yu, so you don't pretend anymore? 1.7 billion year old girl. Yakumo Yukari, I'll give you a smile. You can experience it yourself. Uchiha Madara, shameful. Himura Kenshin, oh my god. I'm speechless. Well, all of Himura Kenshin's catchphrases have exploded. Zhang Chulan took a rough look at the chat records. Well, very good. I read them all without missing a single one. Zhang Chulan walks his bird under the moon, and it will spread throughout the heavens and the worlds. Zhang Chulan looked desperate. Others will at most die socially and live on the moon, but my heavens and the worlds can't accommodate me. Chulan, don't worry, you're not the only one who is embarrassed. Zhang Chulan was a little confused. There are thousands of Zhang Chulans in parallel time and space, and your feats will eventually spread throughout the heavens and the worlds. That's still me. Zhang Chulan's hair exploded. I can't live anymore. Okay, stop throwing a tantrum. Are you the kind of person who cares about this? Yu rolled his eyes at Zhang Chulan, who was showing off. But I have a way to cool your heat here. Yu whispered in Zhang Chulan's ear. Yes, that's a good idea. Zhang Chulan's eyes lit up instantly after hearing the idea of Yu, the sixth brother. Looking at Yu, although Zhang Chulan knew that Yu was looking for fun, but if they want to embarrass themselves, they should embarrass themselves together. There is no reason for him to bear all the responsibilities, right little master uncle? In the competition, because it is different from the anime version, the live-action version has only one venue, so it is divided into several days. Today is the other groups of the 16-8. Zhang Chulan and Yu have no interest. After all, they know all these people. Feng Bao vs. Zio. This game is the same as the original plot. Feng Bao gave Zio a blow. Directly blew up this guy's soul. Then Wang Yi played against Zuge King. Wang Yi said, have you ever lost? And he was completely pretentious. Then it was Feng Xingtong. There was nothing to say. As soon as the spirit binding and general dispatching came out, the Deng family's Liu Kunsheng immediately obeyed. Looking at the soul conquering and general dispatching, Yu couldn't help but touch his chin and thought, if this thing is brought to the Death God world, I don't know if it will work. Even if the power system of the Death God world is a few levels higher, if he uses it, it should be able to affect the other party. The main thing is that, although the Death God is a soul, his body structure is indeed a spirit particle, but if there is a chance, you can try it. As soon as the game was over, one by one, gossip spread throughout the Luotian Daigyo inadvertently. Hiss, have you heard that Zuge King looks serious, but he actually likes to listen to gossip in the corner the most. I know he also likes to tell people that he doesn't like to listen to gossip and then hide in the corner to eavesdrop with Ting Fengaian. It is said that he was caught last night. Zuge King had just experienced a failure and was hit, but he heard others talking about him like this. He looked at Zhang Lingai with an unbelievable look, and Zhang Lingai was also confused by being looked at. This, brother Zuge, I didn't spread this. I didn't have to. Zhang Lingai was also a little at a loss. Although only a few of them knew about this, he really didn't spread it. Of course I believe in Lingai Zenran. Alas, you don't know yet. It turns out that Lingai Zenran is no longer a virgin. His Black Thunder method is called Yunwu Lei. Yes, I know. It is said that it is a thunder method specially practiced by people who have lost their virginity. I also heard that Lingai Zenran is entangled with several female aliens. Oh, this is not allowed to be said. Hey, what are you afraid of? This news has spread everywhere. It is said that Lingai Zenran relies on his handsome appearance to step on several boats. Because there are too many aliens involved, and they are all famous ladies, the identity of the female side has never been revealed. Wow, is it so exciting? This Lingai Zenran is really playing tricks. Zhang Lingai's face turned black. Who on earth spread this? The more it spreads, the more outrageous it becomes. He is still having affairs with multiple women. Do you think he is a sex-hungry ghost? Zhang Lingai felt that if he continued to listen, he would lose his temper. This is not what I said. Zuge King looked at Zhang Lingai, who was faintly flashing with thunder, and said quickly, I know, I naturally believe that brother Zuge is not that kind of person. Alas, if you ask me, these are all rumors. The innocent will be innocent. Rumors will pass after a while. Don't take them seriously. Wang Yi passed by the two people and persuaded them after seeing their ugly faces. But then, and there is also that Wang Yi, you know? Wang Yi, what? You ate the melon and ate it on yourself? There is no melon on him. I heard that Wang Yi is the illegitimate son of the wealthy Wang Weiguo. Yes, there are photos of him when he was a child on the internet. It is said that, because he is an illegitimate child, Taoist Wang Yi was sent to Wudang Mountain when he was young. Yes, I heard that. Although Taoist Wang Yi is a rich second generation, his eldest brother was very harsh to him since he was a child because he was afraid that he would rob his property. And Wang Weiguo, out of consideration for the feelings of his original wife and eldest son, had no choice but to send him to Wudang Mountain. The discussion group talked more and more outrageous, and even said that Wang Yi lived in a doghouse when he was a child. These thieves. Wang Yi's Taoist heart was instantly broken. Calm down, Taoist Wang Yi. Zhang Lingai and Zuge King hugged Wang Yi. Don't be impulsive, Taoist Wang Yi. Chapter 60. Wang Yi did not escape the fate of being buried this time. Well, this time it was Wang Yi's turn to be hugged by the two. If I know which grandson spread the rumor, I will kill him with one palm. After reciting the Kingsin formula several times, Wang Yi calmed down. However, the next second, his face changed, and he turned around and ran. Then a bunch of women of all ages chased him from a distance. They shouted Zuge King's name, and vowed to make him pay the price. Are they all fans of Brother Zuge? Ahaha. Zuge King smiled awkwardly but politely. It's all nonsense. Liu was almost laughing after watching such a good show. These rumors were naturally suggested by him to Zhang Chulan. You know, the best way to cover up one popularity is to throw another bomb. Although these gossips can't completely steal the popularity of Zhang Chulan's bird walking under the moon, they can at least share some of the heat. As for Zhang Chulan, I'm crazy. If we die together. Anyway, with this mentality, this guy is very happy to spread gossip. Even the story that Lu Jin was slapped and cried by the old Taoist priest when he was a child was spread out. You are worthy of saying it or not. Another place. The old Taoist priest still couldn't escape the fate of being chased by Lu Jin. But the cause has changed. Zhang Ziwei. Now it's spread everywhere that I was slapped and cried by you when I was a child. Come on, let's fight again today and see if you can slap me and make me cry. The old Taoist priest pushed Shanjin's Hong and rushed. Old Lu, you are so old. What are you doing? I didn't spread this matter. Why are you looking for me? Abba. Lu Jin chased wildly from behind. If it's not you, then it can be me. Only you know this. Stop right there. See if my thunder talisman can strike you. Lu Jin is such a face-saving person. He had forgotten this matter at first, but today he was reminded of this memory by someone else. When Lu Linglang asked timidly, "Grandpa, were you really beaten?" and cried by the old Taoist priest. After that, Lu Jin got mad and said he wanted to fight with the old Taoist priest again. Well, the old Taoist priest saw this and pushed Shanjin's Hong to run away. As expected of the Taoist priests, they would protect their teammates in front of them when they encounter danger. Feeling the fuss in front of him, Li Yu couldn't help but sigh that he probably couldn't avoid the punch from the old Taoist priest. However, in the original book, this disaster happened to Zhang Lingyu, and this time it was Zhang Chulan who pitted him. At night, in the back of Longhu Mountain, Wang Yi woke up in a daze and found out. Damn. Why was I kidnapped? Wang Yi widened his eyes in disbelief. Could it be his illegitimate son? Ah, what a bullshit illegitimate son. Could it be that he was kidnapped after his identity as a rich second generation was exposed? Then the next second, Wang Yi saw two people not far away. It seemed like they were digging a pit. It seemed that it was the female employee who knew everything and Li Yu. Two people. I don't know how I have offended you. Oh, you didn't offend me, but Zhang Chulan may not be able to beat you tomorrow. So, I'll bury you today. If you can't make it to the scene tomorrow, I'll dig you out later. Wang Yi looked at the big pit on the ground in a daze and said, "Is this pit prepared for me?" Feng Bao made an okay gesture. Yeah. Wang Yi looked at Feng Bao pouring water and mud into the pit in a daze. Wang Yi said in a daze, "Sister, why are you pouring water?" Feng Bao said reasonably, "I have to adjust the height of this pit so that you can just expose your head. If you mix water and soil in a certain proportion, the mud will fit your body curve perfectly, so you will be comfortable in the pit. As long as your chest is soft enough, you can breathe. And the mud mixed with water can absorb your Teikai strength, right? Then you can't escape." Wang Yi. "Sister, you are too stupid." Feng Bao said, "It's nothing, it's just practice." Wang Yi was even more confused. Damn, this lady is wearing clothes from Nadatong and saying such wild words. Is Nadatong a formal company? This Nadatong, is it a formal company? Wang Yi asked blankly. Of course it's formal, I haven't heard of it. A formal company, Nadatong, murder and arson temporary workers? Li Yu stood on his hips and watched the fun and replied with a smile. How can this girl be formal? Wang Yi didn't know where to spit. Damn, I must escape Chin too. Huh? Question mark? Don't waste your energy. I know you are not simple Feng Hao Kiman. Sister Bao has sealed your key a long time ago. Li Yu naturally knew Wang Yi's plan, but who is he? He is a wall hanging from a god's perspective. Although Zhang Chulan was not surprised by Wang, but it's not easy to come here. If I don't follow Sister Bao to bury someone, how can I justify my trip? So in the evening, Li Yu found Feng Bao and tricked her into coming to Wang Yi to do something bad. Great. Seeing Wang Yi successfully buried, Li Yu was so happy. He even took out his phone and took several photos with Feng Bao and Wang Yi, whose head was exposed. Too much. I took photos after burying him. Haha, it's okay to keep a souvenir. Don't worry, Taoist Wang Yi, we will come to release you after the game is over tomorrow. Let's go, Sister Bao. Okay. The next morning, Zhang Chulan played against Wang Yi. At this time, the old Taoist priest, Lu Jin, Shanjin Hong, and Feng Zhenghao were sitting on the stage. Feng Zhenghao noticed that the old master's left eye was blue, and he was a little surprised. Old master, who beat you? The old master snorted coldly. Humph, something went wrong with Mikey last night, and my face turned blue. Feng Zhenghao was a little speechless. That's not to say that my eyes are blue. The old master said helplessly. After all, I'm a few years older than you. There are naturally some mysteries in this 100 years of cultivation that you can't understand. Yes, Kit, I'll learn from you. Contestant Wang Yi, please enter quickly. The second call. When Zhang Chulan saw that Wang Yi was not there at this time, he remembered the hint Li Yu gave him before going on stage. He instantly understood what was going on. He immediately put his hands on his waist and started to show off. In the audience, Nameless, the author is too lazy to come up with a name, looked at Zhang Chulan's arrogant look and was very angry. He shouted, "Referee, there is an inside story. Referee, there is an inside story. Zhang Chulan, this bitch, must have an inside story." I thought that after Zhang Chulan revealed his strength, he would compete in a fair and square manner, but this bitch actually did this again. Rangshan stood behind Nameless, his huge body full of oppression. Rangshan said, "Don't interfere with the order of the game. If you have any doubts about the Xianqi mansion, go to the old Xianqi to explain. Look, he is there." Nameless swallowed his saliva and said, "Oh, forget it." 2 minutes had passed. Wang Yi still didn't show up. Chapter 61. Zhang Chulan chooses his own path. Rangshan shouted again, "Wang Yi, please come in." Wang Yi still didn't show up. Rangshan said helplessly, "The winner is Zhang." Wait. At this moment, a shout came from outside the venue, and then Wang Yi ran in with his tongue hanging out. "I am here." Wang Yi, who arrived, was covered in mud and dirt, and fell to the ground as soon as he entered. "Oh, Master Wang. Why are you here just now? Who made you so embarrassed?" Although Zhang Chulan didn't know why you missed, he still pretended to be ignorant and said. Wang Yi looked at Zhang Chulan as if he wanted to eat him. He said, "Don't pretend here. Feng Bao and Li Yu are your thugs. Seal my key and bury me all night. If I hadn't reopened the seal this morning, I would have had to bury me for a long time." "Alright. Sun Tzu, you are really good at playing. I'm going to kill you." Zhang Chulan, "Master Wang, monks can't swear." Wang Yi. Veins bulged on his forehead. Wang Yi grabbed Zhang Chulan's collar. "You bastard. You made me swear." At this time, Rangshan said in the stands, "Wang Yi, if you have any hidden secrets, tell me. The Xianqi mansion will give you justice." Wang Yi, "It's okay. Just fight like this. By the way, I'm almost starving to death. Can you give me some steamed buns? I want big, white, and tender steamed buns." Wang Yi, Rangshan said loudly, "What kind of occasion is this? You're still eating steamed buns? Let's talk after the fight is over." Wang Yi said in a dishonest way, "That won't do. I'm a Taoist priest, not a warrior. How can I fight on an empty stomach? Don't be afraid that this thief Zhang Chulan will attack me while I'm eating. He doesn't dare." Zhang Chulan. Wang Yi, "Huh? You dare to attack me?" Zhang Chulan, "Hey, what are you talking about, Taoist Wang? How could I attack?" Wang Yi, "That's good." Seeing these two guys playing tricks, the old Taoist priest was helpless. "Go, get him steamed buns, as many as he wants." Wang Yi said, "I want 10. After the steamed buns arrived, Wang Yi sat on the ground and started eating. The big and white steamed buns just out of the pot, just with pickles, are a delicacy. Wang Yi ate the steamed buns in big mouthfuls and said to Zhang Chulan, "Come, eat with me." Zhang Chulan said, "I'm not hungry." Wang Yi glanced at Zhang Chulan. "Stop talking nonsense and eat. If you don't eat, be careful that I will shock you to death with one palm." Zhang Chulan had no choice but to sit down and eat the steamed buns with Wang Yi. To be honest, Wang Yi said that he would shock him to death with one palm, and he was not afraid, but he would not fight if he could avoid it. "Master Wang Yi, I actually know why you are here," Zhang Chulan said while eating steamed buns while sitting on the ground. "I also know a little about the sorcerer's divination you mentioned. I also know that you came for the reputation of the old Taoist priest. Besides, you are here to give me a choice." "Oh, I understand. It seems that there is also a sorcerer around you who can even predict my future." Wang Yi immediately thought of something. "That's right." Zhang Chulan nodded. "But I want to tell you, Taoist Wang, I already know part of the truth, but I won't give up the rest. This is my choice, and I have to walk my own path. Like you said, the past cannot be reversed, but the future can be changed. Are you so confident?" Wang Yi looked at Zhang Chulan with a serious look. "Taoist Wang Yi." Zhang Chulan was silent for a few seconds and then said to Wang Yi firmly, Someone told me this. This world is not as simple as it seems. Everyone has their own destiny, and it is destined by God. Some people are born to be kings, and some people become bandits. If the road under your feet is not your own choice, then no one knows where the end of this journey is. Where you will go, and who you will meet are uncertain. And I will also embark on a journey with an unknown end, because one day, I will become a real king. After saying this, a powerful momentum burst out from Zhang Chulin. Haha. Is this your true face, Zhang Chulin? Wang Yi chuckled. I have to say I have a new respect for you. I'm really convinced. You and Zhuge King are both more stubborn than each other. Wang Yi finished his steamed bun, and dusted off his body. I shouldn't have gotten involved in this mess. Then see you later. By the way, say hello to Liu for me. Obviously Wang Yi guessed where Zhang Chulin's change came from. I admit defeat. As Wang Yi admitted defeat, there was another round of scolding on the field. They shouted that Zhang Chulin was involved in the conspiracy. In the next game, Liu played against Feng Baobao. Feng Baobao chose to admit defeat directly. People didn't have much to say about this. After all, Liu's strength was there. And Zhang Lingai also won easily, and the battle of the top 8 was only Wang Bing vs. Feng Xingtang. Feng Xingtang vs. Wang Bing. Feng Xingtang is from the Feng family of Xiangxiahu. Wang Bing is the grandson of Wang Ai, the head of the Wang family, and the most beloved grandson of Wang Ai, the Ten Lords. So the audience was full of expectations for this duel. Feng Xingtang took the lead in the fight. His eyes turned black, and then Wang Bing's eyes turned black like Feng Xingtang. At this time, Feng Xingtang had not yet realized the seriousness of the matter. He said excitedly, "You are also a Wu. It just so happens that I will show you the one I just got." The next moment, a pitch black giant snake appeared behind Feng Xingtang. However, before Feng Xingtang could call on Uncle Liu Kunsheng, Wang Bing showed an inexplicable smile. He stretched out his hand, with black key wrapped around his palm, and Wang Bing said, "I have been craving this spirit for a long time. Come here." The next moment, Liu Kunsheng's spirit actually rushed towards Wang Bing. Feng Xingtang had already lost control of Uncle Liu Kunsheng at this time. Feng Xingtang was extremely surprised. Conscripted spirits and sent generals. You are also a conscripted spirit and sent generals. Wang Bing laughed. Wait until I take this beast, I will tell you the answer. Feng Xingtang gritted his teeth and shouted, "Uncle Liu, come back." The two began a tug-of-war. The famous Uncle Liu Kunsheng had no power to resist the two sides' conscripted spirits and sent generals. Wang Bing said, "Feng Xingtang, don't be so stingy. It's hard to find such a great spirit in this world. Give it to me. With your half-baked conscripted spirit and sent generals, there is no way to exert the power of this spirit." Feng Xingtang was extremely confident. "I may not be strong, but I'm more solid than anyone else in conscripted spirits and sent generals." Wang Bing looked at Feng Xingtang with a mocking look and said, "Let you see the real purpose of conscripted spirits and sent generals. Subdue the spirit. It's Wang Bing's turn soon. Please read and vote, and let Wang Ai kneel down to vote immediately. Thank you, Godfathers." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. Are you a spirit or a human? Next, in front of Feng Xingtang's extremely surprised eyes, Wang Bing ate a spirit. It was not to invite the spirit to possess the body, but to eat the spirit directly. Haha, you haven't learned the art of subjugating spirits, although the power is not as powerful as inviting the spirit to possess the body, but the power obtained is yours forever. Feng Xingtang was surprised, but there was nothing he could do about it. He was already feeling exhausted now. If this continued, Grandpa Liu Kunsheng would be gone. Outside the field, Feng Zhenghao silently pushed his glasses, and the light reflected by the glasses covered his eyes. As for the children of the Deng family, the two immediately wanted to climb over the railing to save Liu Kunsheng. However, Rong Shan stood in front of the two people. Rong Shan said, "Don't disturb the order." Deng Yaoke gritted his teeth and shouted, "I'm Deng Yaoke, the third generation descendant of the Deng family, and I'm here to invite Hui." Before he could finish, he was interrupted by Deng Yaofu. "Yaoke, don't invite this uncle in front of the two of them." Deng Yaoke cried, "But brother, if we don't invite the immortals, how can we save Uncle Kunsheng?" Deng Yaofu's forehead veins bulged and he shouted, "No invitation." Seeing this scene, Feng Xingtang forced a smile and said to the two Deng brothers, "Don't worry, I will definitely return Uncle Kunsheng to you." The next moment, Feng Xingtang shouted, "Grandpa Zizhang, help me." The black key turned into the spirit of Wang Zizhang, and then Grandpa Zizhang turned his body into a needle and pierced into the acupuncture points around Feng Xingtang, greatly improving Feng Xingtang's ability. Then, Feng Xingtang briefly suppressed Wang Bing. He threw Liu Kunsheng towards Deng Yaofu and shouted, "Jiling, release." Liu Kunsheng's figure turned into a wisp of black smoke and sneaked into Deng Yaofu's body. Seeing this scene, Wang Bing's forehead was bulging with blue veins. He kicked Feng Xingtang in the stomach and kicked him out. "Feng Xingtang, you are looking for death." Feng Xingtang was bleeding from all 5 orifices because of overdrawing his strength, but Feng Xingtang still forced a smile. "I won't let you eat Uncle Kunsheng. Take Uncle Liu Kunsheng and run away." Feng Xingtang took the time to shout to the Deng brothers. Seeing this, the Deng brothers thanked Feng Xingtang and immediately ran away. After seeing this, Wang Bing felt very unhappy. He grabbed Feng Xingtang's hair and smashed his head to the ground, smashing Feng Xingtang's forehead into a bloody mess. I admit, Feng Xingtang wanted to admit defeat at this time, but Wang Bing did not give him a chance. "Stinky boy, you can't admit defeat without my permission. You made me lose a spirit, so I'll eat your spirit." After saying that, Wang Bing directly pulled out Wang Zizhang's spirit from Feng Xingtang's body. He was a little disdainful. "He's an old man. Let me taste what it tastes like." Grandpa Zizhang, Feng Zhenghao on the stage, saw that his son was going to suffer, so he wanted to leave. But he was stopped by Wang Ai, claiming that adults should not interfere in the fight between children. Just when Feng Zhenghao looked ugly, Xingtang. At this time, Li Yu's voice suddenly sounded. He stood on the stage and shouted, "Think about it carefully. Serve the spirit. Serve the spirit. If the spirit is eaten too much, then is he a human or a spirit? Confine the spirit and send the general. The spirit is confined. Then where is the general to be sent?" Li Yu's words instantly detonated the whole audience. It also awakened all those who had learned to confine the spirit and send the general, including Wang Ai and Feng Zhenghao on the stage. No way could it be that the method of subduing spirits has such a drawback. Wang Ai was shocked. Feng Zhenghao's eyes also flashed a fierce look. And Wang Bing was also panicked at this time. "Impossible. The spirit binding and general dispatching method I learned is perfect." He said at the end that his body was stiff and unable to move. Controlled. Feng Xingtang had already transferred the control target to Wang Bing. Sure enough, if you subdue spirits too much, your body will have the characteristics of spirits. "Grandpa Zizhang, come back soon," Feng Xingtang said with difficulty. At this time, Wang Bing's soul struggled hard. After all, he was still a shallow Taoist, and the sequelae of subduing spirits were not obvious. In addition, Feng Xingtang's injuries were too severe, so Wang Bing's actions could only be temporarily restricted. After Wang Zizhang's soul returned, Feng Xingtang immediately admitted defeat. At the moment Feng Xingtang admitted defeat, Li Yu's figure instantly appeared in the field and took Feng Xingtang away. Only Wang Bing was left helpless and furious after he came to his senses. After Feng Xingtang demonstrated the effect of the spirit binding and general dispatching method, Wang Ai was already sweating profusely. You should know that he eats much more spirits than Wang Bing. I'm afraid that the degree of assimilation of his body is also much deeper than Wang Bing. At this time, Feng Zhenghao's eyes were already fixed on him. And here, Li Yu brought Feng Xingtang to Feng Xian's side. In Feng Xian's worried eyes, Li Yu's hand lit up with a green light. The injuries on Feng Xingtang's body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. "Thank you. If it weren't for you today, Xingtang might." She didn't continue. Feng Xingtang might not die, but Wang Zizhang would definitely be eaten, which was a huge blow to Feng Xingtang. It's okay. I also guessed about the arrest of spirits and the dispatch of generals, but I didn't expect it to be a lucky coincidence. Liu was actually unsure about this, because these were all speculations from netizens in the previous life. Everyone guessed that this was a move made by Feng Shui and Yang. Submit spirits, if you eat too much spirits, are you a human or a spirit? Most people agree with this. Don't worry. Feng Xian half crouched beside Feng Xingtong, and the huge abyss attracted Liyu's attention. According to the battle schedule, I will fight Wang Bing tomorrow. Then I will help your brother get revenge. Liu has long been fed up with Wang Bing. He was disgusted by this guy when he watched the drama. Now that he has fallen into his hands, he will not let him lose a layer of skin. From now on, the name of Liu will be written backwards. Thank you. Feng Xian looked at Liu and said slowly, "Hey, you're welcome. Aren't we all friends?" It was just at night. Liu was actually invited by Feng Xian to drink beer and eat barbecue. What's wrong with you? Liu looked at Feng Xian drinking alone and was very puzzled. It stands to reason that Feng Zhenghao should not rush to submit to Wang Ai after understanding the disadvantages of serving spirits. It's not my dad. That Wang Bing treated Xingtang like that. After he and Wang Ai talked about something in the room, they actually reached an alliance. It's simply unbelievable. Feng Xian drank a glass of draft beer and squatted on the table with a bang. Hey, is that all? Liu waved his hand and said, "Don't you know your father? How can he be the one who suffers? Your father must be planning something. Just wait and see. The Wang family will definitely lose a lot of money." "Are you so sure?" "Of course. Your father is a sixth-rate person." Liu didn't say this. "Come on. Cheers." The two of them clinked their glasses directly. "Hey, are you raising fish here?" Just like this, the two of them gradually drank one glass after another. Chapter 63. 800 Wind Swallows in One Night. The next morning, Liu and Feng Xian woke up on the bed in the hotel. Rubbing his head, Liu was a little confused. He only remembered that after Feng Xian and he drank all the beer in the store yesterday, they walked away together in a daze. Looking at the bright red blood on the bedsheet, Liu was a little surprised. The original book did not mention Feng Xian's previous love story. The one night with Jia Zhenglian for 500 yuan can be said to be adults taking what they need. However, Zai can be whitewashed, and Feng Xian's first time is not unacceptable to Liu. Anyway, that's it. Hiss. Feng Xian also woke up and sat up from the bed, then slowly recalled what happened last night. She looked at Liu, a little man who was a few years younger than her, and couldn't help but feel a little entangled in her heart. It can be said that Liu is strong and handsome, but isn't the age difference between the two a bit big? After all, Liu is only 18 years old, and she is an old cow eating young grass. Where are you going? Feng Xian looked at Liu and started to put on his clothes and asked directly. Go and avenge your brother. Today's opponent is Wang Bing, a guy I've long disliked. Liu said as he put on his clothes. If I'm late, that grandson will be the one who gets the upper hand. Then, how do we settle this matter? Feng Xian pinched the corner of the quilt and asked with a tangled face. In the original book, after having sex with Jia Zhenglian, Feng Xian left 500 yuan because she didn't like that guy. Who wouldn't be annoyed by a mama's boy who always talked about his female horse? But Liu, this person is treated differently from others, right? It's like a hero saving a beauty. If the hero is good looking, the little girl can't repay him and can only promise to be with her body. If he is ugly, she can't repay the great kindness and can only be a cow and a horse in the next life. The same principle. So when facing Liu, although she is suspected of being an old cow eating tender grass, who would refuse a handsome, strong big boy? Tell me how to calculate it. Liu scratched his head. Although the tight leather jacket was very smooth, he couldn't stay in this world for long. After thinking about it, Liu took out 800 yuan from his pocket. This was the money he got from Zusi. After all, if he needed to spend money, he didn't have the money in this world. How about this? Liu put the 800 yuan in Feng Xian's hand. Anyway, it's the first time for everyone. No one will suffer a loss. 800 yuan to buy some delicious food. To make up for it, well, the game is about to start. I'll go and get ready. After Liu finished speaking, He used the flying thunder god technique and disappeared. Damn it. Feng Xian only reacted at this time. This bastard actually gave her a ticket? Damn. Am I someone who needs these 800 yuan? I'm the eldest lady of the Xiangxiahu, and I gave myself 800 for the first time. Who are you looking down on? No. If I have to pay, it's me who will pay you. Li Yu's operation really pissed Feng Xian off. Son of a bitch, wait for me. As expected, no one who is with Feng Bao is a good person. Feng Xian muttered while putting on her clothes, cursing very dirty. The author will not write it out because it will be blocked for a view. At the competition site, Zhang Julan and Feng Xingtang were sitting together and whispering about something, and then they saw a figure flash, and Li Yu appeared on the scene with a flying thunder god. Brother Yu, brother Yu. Seeing Li Yu appear, Zhang Julan turned his big eyes and came over mysteriously, saying, "Where did you go last night? Is it your business?" Li Yu rolled his eyes. The guy in front of him looked mean and must have been holding back his fart. I heard that Feng Xingtang's sister didn't see anyone all night, and you didn't come back all night either. Zhang Julan put his arm around Li Yu's shoulders. How is it, brother Yu? Are you, At the end, Zhang Julan winked at Li Yu for a while. You know it, but you still ask? Li Yu slapped the boy away. After a while, Feng Xian also arrived at the scene and sat directly next to Feng Xingtang. Today, the first game of the 4-2-2 competition. Li Yu vs. Wang Bing. The two went on stage directly. On the stage, Wang Ai and Lu Xi were still sitting together. Originally, according to Wang Ai's meaning, Wang Bing should admit defeat directly. After all, Li Yu didn't even give face to him and Lu Xi, two of the 10 lords. If Wang Bing really got injured against him, it would be bad. But Wang Bing was stubborn. He had been arrogant and domineering since he was a child. With Wang Ai's protection, he was arrogant and domineering since he was a child. Li Yu's words yesterday made him lose face in front of everyone. He had long wanted to pull out Li Yu's muscles and bones. How could he admit defeat? He directly ignored the gap between Li Yu and him in strength. After all, this child was used to being arrogant since he was a child and had never been beaten by society. So Li Yu decided to educate him well. You guy, you made me lose so much face yesterday. Today I must crush your bones. Wang Bing looked at Li Yu and said with a sinister face. In his opinion, he was equipped with one of the 8 wonders, the soul binding and general sending skills, which was more than enough to deal with Li Yu. Those people who lost to Li Yu before were all too weak. Feng Xian from the Xiangxia Association and Jia Zhenglian from Jiajia village were all dirt cheap. The reason why Li Yu could win until now was that he had not met young Master Wang Bing. You're going to break bones. That's a good idea. Li Yu put his hands in his pockets. I just don't know whose bones were broken today. You dare to look down on me. Wang Bing looked at Li Yu and didn't take him seriously at all. He was furious at his nonchalant look. Young Master Wang Bing had been the focus of the crowd since he was a child. When had he ever been looked down upon like this? Soul binding and general sending. Wang Bing's eyes turned dark, and then a large number of spirits appeared behind him. These were the spirits that his great-grandfather had found for him. All of them were first-class spirits. Looking at the pile of spirits behind Wang Bing, Li Yu was too lazy to even move. There were too many but not good. All of them were trash. This bunch of spirits can't catch up with Liu Kunsheng. No wonder Wang Bing was jealous of Liu Kunsheng. So, Li Yu just glared. Amaterasu. Swish. Instantly, black flames ignited out of thin air. Wang Bing's spirit was burned and screamed. How is it possible? Looking at the spirits that were instantly killed by the black flames, Wang Bing looked unbelievable. These are all spirits that my grandfather helped me choose. How can they be so vulnerable? No matter how many trash there are, they are still trash. 100 more spirits of this level will only be solved in an instant. Li Yu still stood there with his hands in his pockets. With you don't even have the qualifications to let me move. Impossible, impossible. Wang Bing stood there like crazy. What kind of moves are you? How can it be so strong? It shouldn't be. The 8 wonders should be the strongest. What? The strongest is obviously Basaka. It's wrong. Li Yu pulled back his suddenly wrong train of thought. Hey, why should I tell you the names of the moves? You think you're the only one who calls out the names before using the moves. I won't tell you, you idiot. You'll be pissed off. Chapter 64. You are a double standard dog. You damn bastard. Listening to Li Yu's humiliating speech, Wang Bing pointed his finger at Li Yu and stared at him fiercely. My grandfather will never let you go. Wang Bing stared at Li Yu with his eyes. Seeing Wang Bing's hungry wolf-like eyes, Li Yu did not indulge him. After all, he was here to teach him a lesson today. Li Yu's figure disappeared in an instant. The next second, he appeared in front of Wang Bing as if teleporting. Then he exerted a little force with his left hand and easily broke Wang Bing's outstretched finger. Then he slapped him with his right hand. In just a few seconds, Wang Bing was not even able to feel the pain of the broken finger and was blown away by this big blow. He was a little lost. Fuck. This is a big blow to Wang Bing. This strength looks painful. I don't know how many times Wang Bing can bear it. No matter, I hope he can bear 2 more times, and it will be over. Wang Bing has always been unpopular, especially in yesterday's game. Feng Xingtang was about to admit defeat, but he interrupted him and wanted to torture his opponent. If Li Yu hadn't reminded him, Feng Xingtang would have suffered a lot. You're dead. Wang Bing, who had a finger stuck in the stands, yelled, and then continued to use the spirit binding and general dispatching technique. Seeing him summon 2 elves again, he bit them into his mouth one by one. At this time, he no longer cared about the sequelae of taking the spirit. Now he just wants to win. He wants to get it back. After eating 4 elves in a row and eating up all his stocks, feeling the increase in strength in his body and the reduction of physical pain, he felt that he was able to do it again. Try to hit me again. Wang Bing got up from the ground and stared at Li Yu with gritted teeth. Oh. Li Yu nodded when he heard it, and then he backhanded Wang Bing and hit him hard. This time, the force was even greater, causing Wang Bing to fly up. This is the first time I've heard of such a cheap request. After Li Yu finished hitting, he moved his wrist and sighed at Wang Bing in the distance. Cool. That's the feeling. Feng Xingtang on the platform jumped up and cheered like a certain evil god. At this moment, Wang Bing, who had been beaten by 2 people, had some tinnitus. The feeling of the world spinning around made him stagger for a few steps before he got up from the ground. He shook his head and felt that the world was spinning. He was a little confused by Li Yu's beating and even began to recall the past in his head. From childhood to adulthood, Wang Bing, was different from others. He only needed to take a look at the games that other children wanted and he would get them. If someone bullied him, even if he killed the other person, his great-grandfather would cover it. No matter what he did, he would not be bound by the rules of the world. This was the difference between his origin and that of others. Wang Bing, was born to stand on the top of a mountain. Everything must be to his liking. This world existed to welcome his arrival. He is the protagonist of this world. He is the only one. Wang Bing, who was trapped in the past, thought he was the protagonist of the world. At this moment, he looked at Li Yu in the distance and felt that the plot was gradually getting out of his fantasy. Why? Why is it so difficult for me, the only protagonist in the world, to get a Tangshan scroll? Shouldn't the things I want be easy? Shouldn't someone kneel down and beg him to get them? Exclamation mark. No, something must be wrong. I should be the protagonist of this game. You should all kneel down. Make way for me. Wang Bing was going crazy. He looked around and shouted that he should be the winner of this world. Fuck, this Wang Bing will be fooled by being beaten. TSK. This Wang Bing has poor stress resistance. Going crazy after 2 slaps. Look at Wang Ai's face over there. It's really ugly. Hahaha, the face of the 10th brother must have been hurt by being beaten. The strangers in the stands, who couldn't stand the Wang family, made gloating sounds. Just as everyone in the stands was talking about it, in the competition venue under the stands, Wang Bing rushed towards Li Yu with red eyes and muttered, "Make way for me to attack." Facing Wang Bing, who was rushing over, Li Yu naturally ignored him. He just raised his hand and slapped him again. This forced fight directly broke several teeth of Wang Bing, and he rolled several times in the air and fell to the ground. Blood mixed with saliva flowed from the corners of Wang Bing's mouth. Wang Bing looked at the azure sky and felt that the world that welcomed his birth was turning upside down. How could this happen? It's all wrong. Feng Xingtang is wrong. If I want Liu Kunsheng, he should give it to me directly. Grandpa is also wrong. If I want Tang Shenlu, he should ask Lu Jin directly, and he shouldn't let me participate in this competition. Wang Bing lay on the ground, saying unrealistic words. At the same time, Wang Bing had not admitted defeat on the competition field, and the kid was still stubborn. My great-grandfather is Wang Ai, and our Wang family is the reality. What the Wang family wants will belong to the Wang family sooner or later. Really? Li Yu stood there and chuckled. Then today I will let you see clearly what reality is. Bang! Li Yu put his palms together and slapped them directly on the ground. Then a thick tree broke out of the ground directly, and then the branches were like alive. He tied Wang Bing up directly. Would escape. Tree without boundary descended. What is this? You bastard. Let me go. Wang Bing struggled desperately, but it was useless. In a few seconds, he was entangled and tied to the tree by the branches. You said you would crush my bones before, right? Li Yu controlled the branches to start to shrink. The strong entanglement made Wang Bing's bones creak. Wang Bing screamed miserably. I admit, Wang Bu was not stubborn and wanted to admit defeat, but Li Yu didn't give him this opportunity. He directly controlled the branches to block Wang Bing's mouth. Brother Wang, you want to say what you want to say. What's the point of saying half of the words? How can I understand what you mean if you don't say anything? Crack. One of Wang Bing's arms finally couldn't stand it and was directly crushed. Woo woo woo. Wang Bing's eyes widened in pain and his body began to twitch violently. But his mouth was covered again and he couldn't shout loudly. Wang Ai couldn't sit still in the stands. He stood up from the chair. Old Taoist priest. This kid openly abused the contestants and you just don't do anything about it. Wang Ai knew that Li Yu would not give him face, so he made up his mind to drag the old Taoist priest into the water. Wang Ai, where are you pretending to be a female horse? Wang Bing did not let Feng Xingtang admit defeat yesterday and abuse the contestants. Why didn't you say anything? Didn't the older generation not interfere in the children's affairs? Why can't your Wang family do that? You are a double standard dog, right? Tomorrow, let Wang Ai kneel down and apologize. So godfathers, please read and vote. Chapter 65 No one can help. Li Yu's words choked Wang Ai's face and turned red. Standing there, he kept breathing heavily. Old Taoist priest, what do you say? Wang Ai didn't expect Li Yu to give him face, so he turned his head and asked the old Taoist priest. This? Li Yu did not violate the rules of the game. As long as the contestant is not unconscious and admits defeat, the game will proceed as usual, and as long as it is not life-threatening, we will not interfere with the game. This is the same for everyone. The old Taoist priest thought for a while and replied. That's right. Li Yu controlled the branch and wrapped it around Wang Bing's other arm again. He wanted to crush his bones as Wang Bing said. Stop. Wang Ai shouted anxiously. Crack. Woo woo woo. Wang Bing's eyes widened again in pain. Because his mouth was covered, he wanted to shout, but he couldn't make a sound. Little beast is looking for death. Wang Ai was completely anxious. His beloved junior was humiliated in front of him. Even if Li Yu was powerful, he had to fight desperately, detain the spirit, and send the general. Wang Ai's eyes turned dark, and several elves appeared behind him. It should be said that he is worthy of being one of the 10 veterans. Compared with the feeling that Feng Zhenghao gave Zhang Chulin at the beginning, Wang Ai's ability to capture spirits and dispatch generals is obviously more powerful. However, it is unknown how many spirits Wang Ai has subdued with this strength. Attach the power of the elves to his body. Wang Ai shouted loudly, little ghost, let my grandson go quickly. I will give the old master a face and not bother with you. Wang Ai was aggressive, but he still thought about not taking action if he could. After all, Li Yu gave people the feeling that he was too unfathomable. You don't need to give the old master face. The competition rules stipulate that except for me, no one else has the right to interfere in the competition. Li Yu made an international universal gesture to Wang Ai. Come over if you have the guts. Damn little beast. Wang Ai was so angry that he didn't care about anything. A powerful ki burst out from his body and he jumped down from the stands. He rushed towards Li Yu. Susanoo Liu looked at Wang Ai without making any moves and stood there with his hands folded on his chest. I saw a circle of red energy appear around his body, and then it turned into a red skeleton several meters high, and then it grew flesh, and then armor. In just a few seconds, the red energy formed a half-armored giant more than 10 meters high. The armored giant was like an ancient general. This was the image of Liu Susanoo. The Sharingan was called the Eye of the Soul. The awakening of abilities is related to one's own soul. When he first awakened and used Susanoo, Liu thought of the guardian spirit of the Soul Street in his heart. So in fact, Liu Susanoo form is more like the two-dimensional general form of the guardian spirit of the Soul Street. What the hell is that? The armored general more than 10 meters high is still very shocking. After all, no one in the entire alien world has seen such an exaggerated technique. Zenima hiccup market. A very local accent sounded. Then there was a voice of echoing. Damn. This technique must be strong on the outside. It's impossible for a young man like him to have such a strong ki. The arrow was on the string and had to be shot. Wang Ai has already approached Liu, and Wang Bing is tied to him. If he doesn't break through Liu, he can't save Wang Bing. So Wang Ai didn't hold back, and all the ki in his body was condensed to one point, hoping to win by surprise. The crutch he had been holding in his hand was his weapon. He raised the crutch and stabbed Liu Susanoo. It must be said that after using the power of the elves, Wang Ai's ki has reached a very powerful level. This straight stab directly brought a gust of wind. Oh my god. I didn't expect that Mr. Wang Ai, one of the 10 masters, would go down directly. Should I say he is worthy of being one of the 10 masters? The ki emanating from his body is so thick that it is far from something that young people can touch. I don't know if Liu's energy giant can stop it. The two commentators in the stands are still doing their best to do the live broadcast. In terms of this level of professionalism, it is no less than the golden-haired host of the world's #1 martial arts conference in Dragon Ball. Well, that was a great man who dared to comment on the current situation under the pressure of Piccolo, and these two were no less impressive. However, ideals are full, but reality is very skinny. Even Wang Ai, one of the 10 masters, could not break the third stage Susanoo's defense sting. With a muffled sound, the tip of the crutch directly poked Susanoo's arm. The impact of the collision blew the sand and stone ground under Wang Ai's feet into the air. But it couldn't shake it at all. You should go and make friends with Jiuo Ying. Both are talented. Liu controlled Susanoo and punched Wang Ai directly. Whoosh. Wang Ai's body shot out like a cannonball. Boom. With a sound, it was embedded in the wall of the competition venue. It directly knocked down a part of the stone wall. Puff. Wang Ai lay on the ground and spit out a mouthful of old blood. The elves on his body were also disintegrated by Liu's punch. How can he be so strong? Wang Ai was now only filled with shock. He was one of the top 10 masters in the alien world. Not only did he fail to break the defense when he used all his strength, but he was even hit by a punch and couldn't even maintain his skills. How could it be so outrageous? The other party must have opened. Oh my, no, is this the 10 masters? This is not good enough. When you asked Zhang Chulin about the origin of his ki body before, your momentum was not so bad. Liu stood there and mocked to his heart's content. You have to know that when watching the show, whether it was the anime version or the TV series version, there were not many good people among the 10 masters. For the sake of the 8 wonders, it can be said that they would do anything. The memes were extremely despicable. So Liu was too lazy to give any good feelings to these old men. Well, not even a little. Old heavenly master. This can't go on. Lucy I, who had always been in the same blood with Wang Ai, couldn't sit still. Wang Ai was not the only one who lost face this time. He was one of the 10 masters. How would other people of the same level view him being beaten by someone holding his head like this? The old Taoist priest looked at the scene and found that things seemed to be getting out of control. So he said, "My dear friend Liu, things have developed to this point. Why don't you give me a favor and let the young Wang family admit defeat?" The old Taoist priest said with a smile. Old Taoist priest, it stands to reason that since you asked, I should give you a favor. But this old deng rushed down regardless of the rules of the game and attacked a young Wang family member. It's really unreasonable. So today, no matter who comes, as long as Wang doesn't admit defeat and doesn't faint, the game must continue. Liu stood there, looking like no one could do anything. Chapter 66. Wang Ai is going to kowtow? After hearing this, Wang Ai spit out a mouthful of blood in his chest, and almost got internal injuries. You are a junior? Who has ever seen a junior like you? Then what do you say? The old Taoist priest was not in a hurry at all, but discussed with Liu. How about this? Let Mr. Wang kowtow to me 3 times, and I will forgive him for hitting me. After all, I'm not a devil. Liu maintained Susanoo. He said with a relaxed look. You fucking. Lucy I waited with his eyes, and his expression was distorted. Let Wang Ai kneel down, and kowtow 3 times. Is this something a human can do? You fucking are not a devil. You are not a devil like this. What kind of devil should you be? Liu, don't go too far. This is Longhu Mountain, and the old Taoist priest is not a place for you to run wild. Lucy I had no tricks, so he could only find a way to drag the old Taoist priest into the water. After seeing Liu's strength, he definitely didn't dare to fight him. He didn't want to be punched into the wall. As for asking Wang Ai to kneel down and apologize, that's even worse. After all, if Wang Ai, who is also one of the 10 lords, kneels down and apologizes, what about them? The 10 lords will lose face completely. Of course, Lucy I cares about this, but the old Taoist priest doesn't. But the people are all in Longhu Mountain, so he can't ignore it. This little friendly you, Wang Ai is one of the 10 lords after all. I have to take care of this person in Longhu Mountain. Can you give me a face today? How about this, old Taoist priest? I won't make it difficult for you. How about we have a fight in front of everyone today? If you can defeat me, then I won't bother with the Wang family. If the kid wins by chance, then I will give you a face. Wang Ai, just kowtow. Damn. Liu's words broke Wang Ai's defense, so he had to kowtow after a long time. That's not right. Although Liu is ridiculously strong, the old Taoist priest is not weak either. He is a top in the world of aliens. So as long as the old Taoist priest can defeat him in one move, then his difficulty today will be over. Brother Wang Ai, I wonder if you agree to the conditions of young friend Liu. This is the limit of my face. If you trust me, I will fight with you. If you don't trust me, then I will not interfere in this matter. It's all up to the old Taoist priest. Wang Ai took 2 deep breaths. After relieving the pain in his body, he spoke. There is no way. This is the best choice now. I can only hope that the old Taoist priest can be more powerful. It would be best if he could knock this little bastard down with one move. Oh my god. Contestant Liu is actually going to fight with the old Taoist priest. Not only did he defeat old man Wang Ai, one of the 10 masters, in one move, but he is also going to fight with an extremely powerful old Taoist priest. Is the pattern of the alien world going to change from now on? Damn it. Wang Ai cursed in his heart. These 2 hosts are sick, right? You just broadcast live. Why do you mention me? What do you mean he defeated Wang Ai, one of the 10 masters, in one move? Is it necessary to read it so clearly? Question mark? Doesn't Wang Ai have any face? Amidst the discussion, the old Taoist priest slowly walked down the viewing platform, came to the stage. The old Taoist priest looked at Liu and couldn't help but flash a trace of relief in his eyes. It's true that every generation has talented people. Liu is only 29 years old, but he has such a cultivation that I can't help but be ashamed of him. Old Taoist priest, you are too kind. I hope you can forgive me for the offense today. After the game, I will personally take Chulan to visit the old Taoist priest and apologize to him. Zhang Chulan, what's the use of your apology? Hahaha, you don't have to be like this. I don't care about these things anymore. The old Taoist laughed and said, but I'm very curious about your strength, so I'll take this opportunity to help you. After hearing what the old Taoist said, Liu smiled and responded, go ahead, old Taoist. This is not my full strength yet. Just come on, I can handle it. Liu's words shocked everyone in the audience. He killed 10 masters in seconds, and it's not your full strength? To be honest, Liu was also very curious about the strength of the old Taoist. Everyone knows that in under one person, others practice martial arts, while the old Taoist is cultivating immortals. In the section where the Taoist went down the mountain, whenever the old Taoist took action, it was accompanied by heavy rain and thunderstorms. Even the weather could be affected by the old Taoist, and you knew how awesome the old Taoist was. Looking at the old Taoist's battles, he always raised his hand to kill, and he was done with it. In that case, I won't hold back. To be honest, the old Taoist was a little excited when facing Liu. In his life, he never had enough fun fighting. When he was a child, Liu Jin was also a top-notch existence among his peers, but that was so. When facing him, Zhang Zihui was still slapped and cried. So over time, the old master no longer used all his strength. After all, if everyone was like Liu Jin, it would be difficult to comfort the opponent after he cried. And Liu, this kid, can kill 10 bosses in a second at a young age, and his strength has obviously reached the pinnacle. Maybe he wants to find an evenly matched opponent like himself. If Liu knew what the old master thought, he would definitely shake his head and say, "No, I don't want to find an evenly matched opponent. I just like to bully the weak, use the modifier when playing single player games, and use plugins in online games. I just like the feeling of bullying the weak." Boom. As the momentum of the old master increased, or thunder rang in the sky. "Good guy, you are indeed worthy of being the old master." Liu instantly figured out the old master's doorway. Sure enough, he was right. Others practiced martial arts, while he practiced immortality. The old master was actually borrowing power from heaven and earth. This move is incredible. No wonder it is said that the other masters in under one person are considered one level, and the old Taoist priest himself is considered one level. The old Taoist priest was flashing with lightning. Liu also cheered up. "My friend, I'm going to make a move." Boom. A powerful lightning burst out from the old Taoist priest's hand. The light of lightning instantly lit up the entire Luotian Daijio martial arts arena. It is worthy of being a complete Five Thunders orthodoxy. A red long sword appeared in Liu's Susanoo hand, and he slashed at the old Taoist priest's lightning. Boom. A violent explosion sounded, and the aftermath of the two people's moves directly set off a powerful wave on the sandy ground under their feet. The entire martial arts arena shook 3 times. Are these two people monsters? Lucy I looked at the two people under the stage. Is the strength of these two people really something that humans can produce? Lucy I looked at the two people with an extremely ugly face. Oh my god. Liu actually swung his sword directly at the old master's thunder. Too shocking. The atmosphere group also felt the power of the fight and screamed. At the scene, as the explosion fell, the raised sand gradually calmed down. Liu's figure was revealed as the sand fell to the ground, unharmed. The Five Thunders law issued by the old master with the help of the power of the world did not make Liu move a step. The giant formed by the energy on his body was also unharmed. It seems that Wang Ai is going to kowtow. In the next chapter, Wang Ai will be abolished and left to Zhang Chulan. Preview. Under one person is about to end. Zhang Chulan Super Elgin vs. Junior Master. By the way, Komari will soon serve as a time and space patrol team. Please vote for the follow-up. Chapter 67. Equal. Thanks to the passers-by who like novels for the reward. I will give you a kowtow and add a chapter for you. I didn't expect it at all. Clearly you actually tied with the old Taoist priest with one move. This is too strong. He is so strong that he doesn't look like a young man at all. By the way, if you say that, does that mean that old man Wang Ai? Hiss. On the stage, the words of the two commentators brought everyone back to their senses. This Liu and the old Taoist priest fought a move, and the two of them didn't win or lose. Doesn't that mean that Wang Ai should kneel down and apologize? I'm sorry, brother Wang, Liu's strength is unfathomable, and I can't do anything about it. In the venue, the old Taoist priest who fought with Liu slowly shook his head and said apologetically to Wang Ai not far away. How to say it? The previous move, it's not to say that he used all his strength. But if you say he held back, it's not counted. At least he used most of his strength. The result is like this. According to his estimation, even if he used all his strength beyond his normal level, he can't defeat Liu. Besides, Liu and Zhang Chulan were in the same group. Why would he rush to make trouble with the other party? The old Taoist priest stopped and looked at Wang Ai, who was looking at Liu with despair. He knew that his reputation in this life was ruined, unless he didn't care about Wang Bing's life or death. But how could that be possible? He was his most beloved and most outstanding junior. After watching the old Taoist priest leave, Liu planned to attack Wang Bing again. Wang Ai stopped struggling. Okay, I kneel down and hope you will keep your promise and let my grandson Wang Bing go. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, Wang Ai had no choice. He could only slowly get up, kneel down directly in front of Liu with his knees softened. Then he kowtowed. Wang Ai, please give me some food, he kowtowed. This is definitely a big event that shocked the alien world. Wang Ai, one of the 10 masters, was actually forced to kowtow and admit his mistakes in public. The alien world is going to be in turmoil. As Wang Ai's head kowtowed, the commentator on the stage was completely shocked. Does Watman need you to explain? Wang Ai hated the 2 commentators in his heart. Now it's time to let my grandson go, Wang Ai said with gritted teeth. No problem at all. After Liu finished speaking, he slapped Wang Bing's danshan. He directly abolished his cultivation and destroyed his foundation. He will never be able to recover in this life. Liu, the rules of the game only prohibit harming lives, but not other things. Liu looked at Wang Ai sarcastically. Then he directly untied Wang Bing's restraints. Wang Ai saw that he had no way to deal with Liu at this time. He had to quickly pick up Wang Bing and take him away quickly. I just hope there is still hope. After Wang Ai and Wang Bing left the field, the referee announced that Liu won. Before leaving, Liu also made an internationally accepted hand gesture to Lucy I on the stage. Lucy I was so angry that he almost had a heart attack. After a 10-minute break, the next match was between Zhang Chulan and Zhang Lingaiu. Before the match, Zhang Lingaiu met a group of his fellow apprentices on the way. Rang Shan put his arm around Zhang Lingaiu's shoulders and said to him, Lingaiu, don't let Zhang Chulan win. Zhang Lingaiu, what? If Bu Yao Billion really becomes a heavenly master, I won't stay in Langhu Mountain. I'm saying this. We brothers will go out to travel together. Rang Shan put his arm around Zhang Lingaiu's shoulders and said, Liu and Zhang Chulan are definitely in the same group. If you beat Zhang Chulan, even if you lose to Liu, I don't think he will inherit the position of Heavenly Master. After all, he is the one who has remained undefeated in fighting against the Master. But if Zhang Chulan wins, given their relationship, it's hard to say whether there will be any shady dealings. Rang Shan said solemnly. He saw through this game. Zhang Lingaiu was stunned for a few seconds before saying, I mean, how did senior brother Rang Shan come up with the idea that Zhang Chulan could beat me? 10 minutes passed quickly. After cleaning up the competition venue, the semi-finals officially began. Rang Shan shouted from the referee's seat, please invite Zhang Lingaiu and Zhang Chulan to enter the arena. On the stage, the old Taoist priest was paying close attention to the match. Last night, Zhang Chulan found the old Taoist priest alone. Master. Looking at the old Taoist priest, Zhang Chulan greeted him respectfully. Chulan, what do you want to see, master? The old Taoist priest looked at Zhang Chulan with a smile. I hope master will not interfere in the match with junior master uncle tomorrow. I know you set this game for me, but I'm confident that I can handle junior master uncle. Zhang Chulan said to the old Taoist priest confidently. Chulan, I don't understand what you are saying. What's wrong with your match with Lingaiu? The old Taoist priest said pretentiously. Oh, I'm afraid that master, you are worried that I will lose to junior master uncle. If you say something to him about letting me go, it will be bad. I'm going to hit you, you little brat. Am I such a person as your master? The old Taoist priest pretended to slap Zhang Chulan on the head. Are those sorcerers telling fortunes again? The old Taoist said with his eyes full of brilliance. Hehe, no, Zhang Chulan waved his hands quickly. He complained in his heart. Okay, you won't say anything, but you can drug me. Since Zhang Chulan decided not to hide himself anymore, he didn't plan to let the old Taoist drug Zhang Lingaiu again this time. Let's take this opportunity to let the young master look at himself. And master, don't worry about Liu. He is my friend. He is here to help me this time, so he will admit defeat in the finals. Zhang Chulan said to the old Taoist before leaving. He came back to his senses. Zhang Chulan was already meditating in the middle of the field. Zhang Chulan really had to be serious in this game. Zhang Lingai slowly entered the field. He looked at Zhang Chulan. Zhang Lingai didn't have any special thoughts about Zhang Chulan, such as liking, disliking or something. Zhang Lingai always had a calm attitude when facing unfamiliar people. The only time he felt a wave was the night before yesterday, when Zhang Chulan was walking his bird under the moon, which made Zhang Lingai feel very embarrassed. He had an idea. That is, if Zhang Chulan became a heavenly master, then the heavenly master's mansion would be disgraced, and Zhang Chulan could not be allowed to become a heavenly master. Let the game begin. There was no greeting between the two sides. Instead, they used the golden light mantra at the same time, and rushed towards the opposite side. The mysterious sect of heaven and earth, the root of all ki, cultivate all the calamities, and prove my magical powers. Golden light emanated from both of them at the same time. At this time, Zhang Chulan's golden light was completely different from when they first met. At this time, Zhang Chulan's golden light was obviously much thicker than the weak one that seemed to break at the touch. Bang 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 bang. With the blessing of the golden light mantra, the speed of the two was still very fast. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged several moves. There was no difference in strength at all. No one expected that Zhang Chulan could be on par with Zhang Lingai. Chapter 68 Water Dirty Mine. How is it possible that Bu Yaobi Lion is on par with Ling Yu Zhen Ren? Is this the true strength of Bu Yaobi Lion? Zhang Chulan's previous victory over Tang Wenlong by controlling the iron sand had already impressed them, but they didn't expect that Zhang Chulan could actually tie with Ling Yu Zhen Ren. After all, the gold content of Zhang Lingyu and Tang Wenlong is completely different. Look, crossing Tong, Shaoyan, I said this kid is not simple. Feng Zhenghao in the stands was commenting to Zhang Chulan, this kid is not weak. He knew how to hide himself before and injured for 10 years. Now he has grown up and made a big splash. So I said that there are not many people in your generation who can compare with him. So what? Feng Xiaoyan curled her lips. Anyway, I just don't like him. Looking at his arrogant daughter, Feng Zhenghao smiled helplessly, stopped talking and looked at the game seriously. In the stadium, the two had already exchanged several moves. Zhang Lingai also found that Zhang Chulan's golden light mantra was no longer the same as before. Not only that, Zhang Chulan could also use the golden light mantra to superimpose the golden light, to focus on improving the defensive effect. Zhang Lingai also noticed this. During the battle, his thoughts were running fast. Zhang Lingai punched Zhang Chulan's left side, and Zhang Chulan used the golden light to defend. However, this was a false move. Zhang Lingai came behind Zhang Chulan in an instant and hit Zhang Chulan's back with a palm. However, Zhang Chulan's reaction was also very fast. He turned around directly, and the golden light superimposed on his arm, and then some black air was added to the golden light. This is the armed color domineering. The participation of the armed color domineering made the golden light mantra a little harder. Bang! The fists and palms crossed, and Zhang Lingai was directly repelled by Zhang Chulan. Zhang Lingai said, good, very good. I didn't expect you to be so strong today. Looking at his shattered golden light mantra, Zhang Lingai didn't make any excuses. Instead, he dispersed the golden light directly, then let me try your Yang Wu Lei. In fact, Zhang Chulan learned the thunder method longer than Zhang Lingai. For some reason, Zhang Lingai had never learned Yang Wu Lei before. Instead, he learned Yan Wu Lei after he met Zai and lost his virginity when he returned to the mountain. All in all, it took Zhang Lingai only 1 or 2 years to master Yang Wu Lei. Although it is said that everything is difficult at the beginning, Zhang Lingai made rapid progress after learning the thunder method. Then Zhang Lingai raised his hand slightly, and arc lightning appeared in his palm. Palm thunder. Zhang Lingai rushed towards Zhang Chulan quickly. Zhang Chulan's face was normal. He also raised his hand, but the lightning in his palm was blazing white. Yang Wu Lei vs Yan Wu Lei. Boom. The two thunder methods collided in the center of the field. Zzzz. The two fierce lightnings entangled in the air and were incompatible. but how to say it, Palm Thunder is a move of Yang Wu-Lei after all. After all, he was no match for Yang Wu-Lei. As time went on, the black Yun Lei was no match for the white Yang Lei. He was gradually suppressed by Yang Lei. Oh my god, Taoist Lingai was suppressed by Zhang Chulan. This is impossible. Zhang Chulan is simply the biggest dark horse in this competition. Boom. Yang Lei finally overwhelmed Yun Lei and hit Zhang Lingai directly. Oh my god. No one thought that Zhang Chulan would be the first to gain an advantage. This is simply incredible. I can say that this is a day with the most reversals in my broadcasting of competitions over the years. The two commentators on the stage were very excited. The highlights of these two games today were simply too great. Turning their sides to the competition venue, Zhang Lingai stood up from the ground. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. At this moment, he was hit by Yang Wu-Lei and was a little embarrassed. A large hole was torn in the upper body of his white Taoist robe, revealing a slightly charred chest. Zhang Lingai was injured. This was the first time Zhang Lingai had been injured since the Daluosha and Dajiro. On the other hand, Zhang Chulan stood there without any scars on his body. Zhang Lingai took a deep breath, then looked at Zhang Chulan and said, "Zhang Chulan, I have to say, I underestimated you before. You are so strong that it exceeded my expectations." Hearing Zhang Lingai praising himself like this, Zhang Chulan was a little surprised. It's really rare to hear a few words of praise from you. Little master, let's not talk about the other things for now. I won't pretend today. You should also do something serious, right? Yeah, Zhang Lingai nodded, then closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and made a certain determination. Then he opened his eyes and calmly performed his Yin Wu Lei in front of everyone. In an instant, his hands flowed out of black and turbid ki, which dripped from his body like a fluid, and flowed on the ground, thick and turbid, strange and changeable. This is the true face of Yin Wu Lei, unrestrained and free, and it is like mercury leaking into the ground. It makes people feel muddy and uncomfortable at a glance. Is this also thunder magic? It seems sticky and oppressive. It looks so weird. When the audience in the stands saw Zhang Lingai use Yin Wu Lei, they all felt that it was different from before, and there was an indescribable feeling. Finally, it was used. The old Taoist priest who had not spoken for a long time saw Zhang Lingai use the true face of Yin Wu Lei in front of everyone, and then he spoke. "Come on, Lingai, since you have shown the true face of Yin Wu Lei in front of everyone, then accept it completely, accept yourself. Accept everything. Even if the past is unbearable for you, you must accept it calmly. Accepting yourself and reconciling with yourself is difficult to say, but it is not difficult to say that it is not difficult. If you can get over it, everything will be fine. If you can't get over it, you will torture yourself." Zhang Lingai is the kind of person who can't get over it and tortures himself. There is no way. Zhang Lingai couldn't get over it, so he had to ask his old master to help him and force him to face the past. To be honest, the old master was still struggling whether to trip up Zhang Lingai, but he didn't expect that the little guy Zhang Chulan would come to him and say such a thing. So it was a good opportunity to force this kid to stop being so stubborn. "Zhang Chulan, did you see it?" Zhang Lingai used the Yin 5 thunders to slowly cover the entire competition venue. He raised his hand slightly, and the turbid black thunder flowed from his palm. "What did you see?" Zhang Chulan's tone was very unhappy. "This is the turbid essence transformed by the dirty water thunder," Zhang Lingai explained, looking at Zhang Chulan in the distance. "The leakage of Yuanjing may not be a big deal for others, but I have been a monk since I was young, and I claim to have a strong heart of Taoism, but I easily broke Yuan Yang. This dirty water thunder is the evil result of my evil deeds. This is my ugly appearance. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69. Have you heard of a certain scientific railgun? After Zhang Lingai exposed the water bomb in public, he also spoke his inner thoughts, as if to comfort himself. He paused and then continued, although there were many complicated situations at the time, I can't blame anyone for leaking my yin and yang. It was me, Zhang Lingyu, who was weak-minded. Because of my so-called identity as a disciple of the Heavenly Master, I took my anger out on you. So Zhang Chulan, I was indeed wrong in this matter. When Zhang Lingyu said this, everyone present was silent at first, and then burst into heated discussion. Sure enough, the news that came out 2 days ago is true. Zhang Lingyu is having an affair with a woman outside. Alas, I didn't expect that Taoist Lingyu, who looks like an abstinent man, is also a meat eater. You don't need to apologize to me. The past is over. We are all men, so why should we be upset? After all, you are still a full man who doesn't know the hunger of hungry men. I dream of finding a girlfriend, to get rid of being single. You are so unsatisfied with such a beautiful girlfriend. You keep getting stuck in a dead end every day. Those rumors were spread by you, right? Zhang Lingyu suddenly said. Ah, what rumors? Zhang Chulan showed an innocent expression. To be honest, he acted very well. Haha. It doesn't matter. Zhang Lingyu looked at Zhang Chulan, who looked like he would never admit it, and shook his head helplessly. It doesn't matter whether you admit it or not. I have already determined the basic situation. After all, no one else on Longhu Mountain can do this except you. And I'm not going to settle accounts with you. Just treat this as my compensation for you. You'd better be more rigorous in doing things in the future. After all, you also represent the face of Longhu Mountain. This time, Zhang Lingyu acknowledged Zhang Chulan's identity as the successor of Longhu Mountain. Hahaha, junior uncle, it's not good to be too rigorous. You should be more tactful in the future. After saying this, Zhang Chulan shook his head again and sighed. It's also fate that you, who are most suitable for Yang Wu Lei, practice Yin Wu Lei, and I, who are most suitable for Yin Wu Lei, can only practice Yang Wu Lei. How can this be justified? As soon as Zhang Chulan's words came out, the strange people on the stage laughed. Zhang Chulan, you are a man who is responsible for the forbidden sand. This is a lost art. Don't be ungrateful, Kang Long shouted on the stage. Shut up, you little bastard. Believe it or not, I will kill you with a thunderbolt. This forbidden sand should be engraved on you bastards. Ha 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 ha, it's a pity that I want to engrave it, but I don't. The people on the stage, who had experienced the bird walking under the moon that night, unanimously mocked Zhang Chulan. Hey, are you going to compete? Rangshan looked at Zhang Chulan and the group of idiots on the stage and said directly. Compete. Compete now. Zhang Chulan quickly came back to his senses. Then let's fight quickly. Although Zhang Lingyu had reached an understanding with himself at this time, he still felt that he should be able to beat Zhang Chulan. As soon as Zhang Lingyu finished speaking, the thick and turbid black ki flowing on the competition field completely covered the area where Zhang Chulan was. Tentacle-like Yin Wu Lei stretched out in this black ki. The flexible swinging range and the sticky feeling at first glance made people think of those strange tentacles in some weird anime. Dirty Water Thunder, Northern Border Canton. Zhang Lingyu grabbed forward out of thin air, and several tentacle-like Yin Wu Lei appeared around Zhang Chulan at an extremely strange angle, tightly binding him. This thing doesn't work on me. Bang! The Dirty Water Thunder was blown up like a broken balloon. The sticky liquid scattered. It turned out that Zhang Chulan was surrounded by iron sand, which completely isolated the Dirty Water Thunder. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Zhang Chulan's iron sand also swept towards Zhang Lingyu like black tentacles. If the previous duel of the two people's golden light spell was bright and positive, then at this moment, the scene has completely become a contest between two black magics. The black and sticky Dirty Water Thunder, and the black iron sand. The two sides are intertwined and entangled, like countless black snakes fighting. To be honest, I really didn't expect that thunder and lightning can be used in this way. I have to say that I have a completely new view of you. Whoosh! Zhang Lingyu moved quickly in the northern border canton. The water Dirty Thunder was fighting with the iron sand, and he was going to get close to Zhang Chulan. To be honest, I can't control the iron sand with thunder and lightning, and I'm ashamed of myself for that. But under the traction of electromagnetic force, Zhang Chulan's speed was not slow at all. Bang, bang, bang. The two of them kept fighting quickly. Little master, don't be too self-deprecating. Controlling iron sand is a delicate job that can't be done by manic thunder and lightning. I use electromagnetic force. Z. A lightning flash burst out from Zhang Chulin's body, forcing Zhang Lingayu back. Electromagnetic? Zhang Lingayu frowned, his eyes revealing clear stupidity. Little master, haven't you studied physics? I have been practicing Taoism since I was a child, so naturally I haven't studied it. After dodging Zhang Chulin's move, Zhang Lingayu wanted to use the water dirty thunder to attack Zhang Chulin, but the water dirty thunder was actually sucked away by two iron sand whips not far away. This is he lightning rod. Zhang Chulin laughed. Magnetism, iron, and the lightning rod together made Zhang Lingayu confused. Whoosh. Zhang Chulin controlled the iron sand and pulled him out of the coverage of Beijing Kangtan. But Zhang Lingayu would not let him go. Beijing Kangtan continued to cover and spread. Little master uncle. Zhang Chulin jumped out of the coverage of Beijing Kangtan. What's wrong? Are you going to admit defeat? At this time, Zhang Lingayu's shirt was torn and there was a trace of blood on the corner of his mouth. On the other hand, Zhang Chulin had fought for a long time without a single scar on his body. I'm not going to admit defeat, but I'm going to end this battle. Zhang Chulin said in a relaxed tone. I originally planned to keep a trump card, but facing you, little master uncle, it's not easy to win you if I hold back. Zhang Chulin's words were half true and half false. It wasn't difficult for him to win Zhang Lingayu. At most, it would take some effort. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to win this game cleanly. So, let's reveal a little bit of the trump card. Just expose a little bit. Zhang Chulin slowly put his hand into his trouser pocket. Hey, little master, do you know what a super electromagnetic gun is? Zhang Chulin's words puzzled many of the audience around him. And Kanglong, the otaku, scratched his head when he looked at Zhang Chulin. Why do I know this line so well? Kanglong felt that the plot was a little familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen it. Super electromagnetic gun. Use Fleming's laws of motion to launch shells. Even a small coin can exert great destructive power. Chapter 70 The Lightning Dancing on Your Fingertips. Thanks to the support of the passerby who likes novels. I won't say anything else, but kowtow to you. Fuck. Zhang Chulin is shameless. You copied the lines. Kanglong suddenly shouted in the stands. What kind of cosplay of a railgun are you? A rough old man. Fuck. At this time, people who have seen a certain canon finally came to their senses. Isn't this guy just cosplaying a junior high school student on Bilibili? Wait. Can the skills in Anin be learned? P.S. There is no Naruto in this world. At this time, a passionate BGM suddenly sounded at the scene. Looking. Zhang Chulin's whole body was full of electric light. The Blitz looped this planet to search way. So under electromagnetic acceleration, even a coin, if it is fired at 3 times the speed of sound, will have a huge lethality. Only my railgun can shoot it. Little master, you have to be careful. The speed of light in the body ding. Zhang Chulin flicked the coin in his hand into the air. The hovering coin accurately landed on Zhang Chulin's clenched fist and flexed thumb in the electric light. Slap. The endless electric light wraps around the arm, forming a cannonball trajectory composed of electric current. Of super railgun. Fire. Hit boom. The coin turned into a beam of light and shined directly at Zhang Lingayu. Can't hide. Zhang Lingayu only saw the light that seemed to penetrate the sky. The speed is too fast to avoid, and the brain's thinking speed can no longer keep up. Instinctively, Zhang Lingayu gathered all the dirty water thunder in the northern border Kangtan in front of him. Although the dirty water thunder is in the form of a viscous liquid, it is essentially lightning, so it is very fast. At the moment the super electromagnetic gun was fired, it gathered in front of Zhang Lingayu. Puff. The mercury-like dirty water thunder was directly pierced by the super electromagnetic gun like a balloon that was punctured. Whoosh. The extreme beam of light penetrated the defense of the dirty water thunder and Zhang Lingayu's golden light defense at the same time. Then a wound was cut on his shoulder. Zhang Lingayu felt that before he could react, he instinctively cast the golden light spell in the defense of the dirty water thunder. But in an instant, his defense was penetrated, and the light passed directly in front of his eyes, and the upper side of his shoulder made a whoosh sound along his ear. It brought a gust of wind, and the scattered white hair proved that it had been here. The collapsed wall behind him proved its destructive power. If it hit him, he would be a pile of rotten meat. A railgun. It's a real railgun. Kang Lang on the stage was the first to react. He instantly jumped up from his seat. Sister Cannon is awesome. Long live Sister Cannon. The lightning in your hand is my unchanging belief. Wait. Zhang Chulan felt something was wrong. Damn, it's me in the audience. It's me. Not that junior high school student from Bilibili. This fat guy. It's so embarrassing. Shut up. ZHI Jinhua next to him punched Kang Lang on the head. Then he turned around and said to Liu, brother Yu, can we turn off the speakers? Zhang Chulan has already finished showing off, so there's no need to turn it on. It's quite loud. Liu smiled and turned off the super loud speakers. He had to say that he gave Zhang Chulan 99 points for this wave of 13 shows in coordination with the BGM. Kang Lang was still yelling, this guy's crazy, take him down. Lu Linglang said. The chattering really affected the viewing experience. Zhang Lingai, who didn't say anything, feeling the lingering heat left by the coin after it passed through the air. So this is your strength. Zhang Lingai smiled bitterly. Sure enough, I'm not as good as you. I admit defeat in this round. Zhang Lingai's words set off the whole audience. But it was also reasonable. Damn, this guy Zhang Chulan is cheating. Who can stop the 3 times the speed of sound super electromagnetic cannon? Damn, this shameless guy. We practice martial arts while he practices science, right? I've decided I'll go read comics. When I go back, maybe I can also figure out some awesome skills. What are you talking about? Do you have that IQ? There was a lot of discussion at the scene. At this time, everyone forgot Zhang Chulan's initial treachery. People will only remember the style of that super electromagnetic cannon. It's so exciting. Today's game is so exciting. First, Liu showed his unprecedented ki transformation, I think, and then Zhang Chulan's super electromagnetic gun created, based on scientific principles. And tomorrow's final will be the peak showdown of these 2 unique skills. Liu looked at the 2 commentators and said, you are really good at creating an atmosphere. Brother Yu, I look forward to fighting with you tomorrow. Although my super electromagnetic gun may not be able to penetrate your defense, I will not back down, and I hope you will not hold back tomorrow. Zhang Chulan stood in place and shouted at Liu. Since you are so eager to fight, I will fight with you tomorrow. Liu in the stands also responded loudly. Oh, the fighting spirit is boiling. The fighting spirit is boiling. The 2 finalists tomorrow are already challenging each other. It seems that tomorrow will definitely be a fierce battle. The commentators' words made everyone look forward to it. But they forgot one thing. Zhang Chulan was also excited on the first day, with a posture of being the best in the world. As a result, such a drama that did not shake Billion came out. In the stands. I think these 2 will definitely do something weird tomorrow, believe it or not. Zusi poked Zusan next to him. Isn't it obvious? Zusan pushed his glasses. After watching Zhang Chulan's performance today, they have forgotten his pitfalls on the first day. Let's see. Tomorrow's game will definitely surprise them. At this time, Lu Linglang looked at her own handicap with a face full of entanglement. She was entangled in who to bet on in the finals, but she wanted to make a lot of pocket money. Brother Yu, let me ask you, are you really going to go all out with Zhang Chulan tomorrow? Of course. Liu answered seriously. Chulan has issued a challenge. Can I hold back? What about his super electromagnetic gun? Let him not be able to break my defense even with 10 shots. Given your relationship, don't admit defeat in the arena tomorrow. That's impossible. Whoever admits defeat is a dog. Liu vowed. Oh, that's good. That's good. Lu Linglang is still young. After listening to Liu's words, she completely believed it. Then she directly bet all her pocket money and living expenses on Liu. Although Liu's odds are not high, he will definitely win. This silly girl is still thinking about collecting money after the final tomorrow. And those who got some news all bet their money on Liu. Only Zusi, Zhang Chulan, and Taoist Jian. Even the old Taoist priest took out some private money and asked his apprentice to bet on Zhang Chulan. Old Taoist priest. Oh, it seems that this mobile phone should be changed. The photos are not very clear. Chapter 71. I passed by your house that day. The next day, everyone came to the martial arts venue in advance, just to occupy a favorable viewing position early. In the stands, there was no trace of Wan Ai and Lucii. The two old monks left Langhu Mountain early. In the main battle seat, it was the old Xianqi and Lujin, and Zhang Lingai who stood next to the old Xianqi. He was depressed after the defeat yesterday, but under the careful guidance of the old Xianqi, he had let go of his obsession. Old Xianqi, it seems that we are going to enjoy a fight between dragons and tigers today. The strength of your disciple is amazing. Lujin stroked his beard and said with a smile. Obviously, he was also looking forward to today's duel. Hahaha, Laolu, I feel that today's competition will definitely exceed your expectations. The old Xianqi said meaningfully. Oh, then I'll wait and see. Obviously, Lujin, an honest man, did not hear the old Xianqi's voiceover. When the time was up, Li Yu and Zhang Chulan entered the venue at the same time from both sides. Zhang Chulan and Li Yu have entered the arena. Both of them look very imposing. Yes, there is determination in their eyes. That is a desire for victory. It seems that today's championship battle will be a fierce battle. Yes, I believe the audience can't wait. The two commentators said one sentence each, which made the atmosphere full. The audience was excited. Come on, Li Yu. I bet on your living expenses for 2 months. You must win. Come on, Li Yu, come on. Beat Zhang Chulan. The fat man Kanglang shouted the loudest, which shows that he must have bet a lot. Wow, you little bastard. You are the only one who shouts the most, right? You can just wait to go to the moon, to pay off your debt. Zhang Chulan raised a graceful middle finger to Kanglang. Ha, you little nizza, you better win the game before you brag. Kanglang is not at all inferior to Zhang Chulan. The two guys are now like a sleeping dragon against a phoenix chick, and neither of them will spare the other. The championship finals, Li Yu vs. Zhang Chulan, starts now. The referee's voice fell, and the scene was instantly quiet. Everyone held their breath and looked at the center of the arena with concentration. Zhang Chulan and Li Yu, the two looked at each other with serious eyes. Step by step, they approached the center of the venue. As the two approached, their momentum was also rising step by step. At this time, a heavy and exciting BGM sounded. The super loud sound system appeared again. However, the music did not destroy the atmosphere, but made the atmosphere on the scene more tense. As the music progressed, the momentum of the two finally reached its peak. In the middle of the arena, the two were less than 2 meters apart. Gilulu. Everyone in the stands looked at the two nervously. Feng Xintang and Feng Xian, the two siblings, clenched their fists nervously. On the contrary, Feng Zhenghao, the old fox, smiled and looked at the center of the venue. Just when the atmosphere reached its peak, in an instant, the two raised their hands at the same time. The BGM was also cut off at the same time. But, I was passing by your house that day. You were just holding a bucket and pouring water out. Fuck. Everyone was stunned at the same time. What the hell is going on? Are they singing nursery rhymes? In the middle of the venue, just when everyone thought that the two were going to start fighting, no one expected that the two would actually start dancing while singing. It splashed on my leather shoes. The pedestrians on the road laughed. Why are they dancing more and more vigorously? You didn't say anything to me. They just squinted at me. What the hell is going on? Someone give me an explanation. Some people scratched their heads and felt like they were going crazy. Lulol. Scissors X2. Every time the audience played rock paper scissors, their hearts trembled and their mood was like a roller coaster. Every time made people's breathing stagnate. Lulala rulala. Li Yu, scissors Zhang Chulan, rock Zhang Chulan won. What a hearty duel. Zhang Chulan exhaled and wiped the non-existent sweat on his forehead. Yeah, I didn't expect that I would lose to you after using all my strength. The words of the two people made everyone explode. Damn it, what kind of hearty duel is this? Well, you can't say that. We did use all our strength to duel. No one stipulated that the competition must be in the form of fighting. Zhang Chulan put his hands on his waist and quibbled. Go to hell. Do you think I'm a fool? Zhang Chulan muttered softly. Isn't it? Referee, as you can see, after I fought with Zhang Chulan, the final result was that Zhang Chulan won, so make the verdict. I don't agree. A conspiracy. A conspiracy. It's definitely a conspiracy. Yes. We don't agree with the result of the game. We must have a rematch. A conspiracy. A conspiracy. A conspiracy. A conspiracy. The whole audience shouted a conspiracy in unison. Zusan and Zusi quietly pulled up Feng Bao Bao and prepared to run away first. They were afraid that they would be beaten to death by the excited audience if they stayed at the scene. Mr. Thesrangshan didn't expect this scene. He could only stare at the old Taoist priest with a pair of innocent big eyes. Lu Jin and Zhang Lingyu, who were beside the old Taoist priest, were also shocked, to be honest. They thought of countless possibilities, but they didn't expect the game to be like this. Looking at the excited audience, Zhang Lingyu couldn't help asking himself if he agreed with Zhang Chulan too quickly. Sure enough, I shouldn't have expected anything from this guy. Isn't this game too frivolous? Lu Jin also pointed at the competition venue below and said excitedly. Thinking that his Tang Shenlu was handed over in this way, Lu Jin felt that his mood, to describe it with a popular internet term several years ago, it's really fucked. That, everyone be quiet. The old Taoist raised his hand and pressed down to signal everyone to be quiet. Then he said after a pause. Regarding the duel between Li Yu and Zhang Chulan, Shi Mansion does not have an accurate explanation that the winner must be determined by fighting. This is our inconsiderate. But, since the two have already decided the winner, no matter what the method, we have no reason to ask the two to rematch. So, we will take this as a warning, and will definitely improve the rules of the game next time. Then let this be the result of this time. The old Taoist's words closed the coffin lid. Damn, isn't this nonsense? This is the first time in history that Luotian Daijio has invited outsiders to participate. There will be no next time. What should we do? You go and tell the old Taoist. Haha, do you think I'm stupid? Chapter 72. The Luotian Grand Ceremony ends. The old Taoist priest had spoken, and no matter how dissatisfied everyone was, they could do nothing about it. But the resentment in that look seemed to be real, shooting straight at the two people on the field. Countless people who bet on Li Yu to win were regretting it now. My pocket money. Lu Linglang leaned on Bei Shixu with lifeless eyes. My living expenses. And my little treasury. Didn't we agree to fight with all our strength? Lu Linglang was still struggling, but Bei Shixu had seen through it a long time ago. They fought with all their strength, but it was not in the form of a battle. Li Yu didn't admit defeat either. They did what they said, but, wow. These two liars. Lu Linglang was so wronged. Her own little money. Aksu. Hey, don't look at me. I lost money too. Lu Linglang cried with tears in her eyes, which made Kanglang feel distressed. Goddess Linglang. It's okay. I can work to support you. Yes. Goddess Linglang. At most, I can only eat one steamed bun a day, and I will give you gifts. Goddess Linglang. I can only eat one meal a week and drink only water. I will give you gifts too. Goddess Linglang. Goddess Linglang stepped on me. That guy who looks so much like the author. Get away from me. Why are you here again? Hiss. Looking at the boys who were so excited, Bei Shixu took a breath. This is too exaggerated. Net, you don't need to give me gifts. Lu Linglang waved her hands quickly. She was the great granddaughter of Lu Jin. Although the slush fund was gone, she would still have pocket money if she acted coquettishly to Lu Jin. Crying is just because I'm unwilling to lose. After all, the author will curse when he encounters a serious pit when playing cards. Reflection Barrel and Hanno's Power. The result of the game is finalized. Now it is the award ceremony. In the center of the venue, the old master and Lu Jin presented the award to the champion together. Lu Jin took out a small box with a stinky face, and inside was the secret book of Tangshan Talisman. You are lucky little boy, take it. Lu Jin actually likes this little guy very much, but today's local drama competition is really hard for him to accept. Grandpa Lu. Zhang Chulan took over the Tangshan Talisman and said, if you give me this Tangshan Talisman, I can dispose of it at will, right? If I give it to you, it will naturally be yours. Lu Jin answered subconsciously, and then suddenly came to his senses. What do you want to do, kid? Ha ha ha, Grandpa Lu, a false key body source has caused me endless trouble. If I add another Tangshan Talisman, I will never have peace. Zhang Chulan said with a smile. So, I decided to give the Tangshan talisman to Li Yu. Zhang Chulan stuffed the Tangshan talisman directly to Li Yu. Whoever wants the Tangshan talisman can go to Li Yu for it. As long as you can take Li Yu's fist, you can take the Tangshan talisman. Li Yu was not vague and stuffed the Tangshan talisman into his arms. I will accept the Tangshan talisman. Whoever wants it can come to me to get it. The premise is that you can find me. Lu Jin looked at the two of them and couldn't do anything about them. He simply turned his head and said, forget it, I've given it to you anyway, do whatever you want. Afterwards, the old Xianxi announced Zhang Chulan's identity as the Xianxi's successor. Luotian Dagio ended perfectly. Boshi. Well, if you ignore the audience who cursed. Anyway, the curses were quite dirty, so I won't describe them. Time came to the afternoon. In a hidden forest in Langlu Mountain. Quan Crossing's group of masters are hiding here. Are you sure you saw that guy Li Yu leave? Yuan Tao's old man narrowed his vicious eyes and stared at the two people who delivered the message. We are sure. The two nodded. After Li Yu separated from Zhang Chulan, we hung from a distance and saw him get on the long distance bus with our own eyes. Although it's a pity for the Tangshan talisman, I'm afraid that if there is one less opponent of the level of the old Xianxi in the plan tonight, our chances of winning will definitely be greater. Humph, what old Xianxi level? That little brat is not worthy. Yuan Tao looked down on Li Yu. He only fought with the old Xianxi for one move. He didn't encounter us. If we join forces, we are not afraid of the old Xianxi. His early departure is a bargain for that kid. Obviously, Yuan Tao has never been beaten to tears by the old Xianxi. Tangshan talisman is not urgent. Lei Yan Peo Gaoning looked like a smiling Buddha. Don't forget our purpose. The clue of that is the most important. You continue to gather intelligence. We are waiting here for the news of the acting leader. Then, the forest fell into silence. In a room in Langlu Mountain, Li Yu, Zusan, Zusi and Feng Bao were sitting together. Zhang Chulan was taken away by the old Taoist priest to inherit the Taoist priest's degree. Of course, Zhang Chulan wanted to tell the old Taoist priest something in private, and he was definitely unwilling to inherit the Taoist priest's degree. As for Li Yu, the Li Yu who left was his shadow clone, a skill he had never shown before, so he naturally deceived Quan Crossing's group of idiots. Cute. Chulan was taken away by the old Taoist priest, so I should fulfill my promise and tell you about Feng Bao's life experience. Li Yu said, after pouring himself a cup of tea. Hurry up. I can't wait. Feng Bao's obsession is to find her family. She has been waiting for this day for a long time. First of all, how much do you know about the previous head of Quangxing, Wu Zhensheng? We only know that the 36 thieves formed an oath of brotherhood, and 8 of them realized the 8 strange skills. We don't know much about the others. He is very mysterious. Zusan thought for a while and answered. Wu Zhensheng's secular name is Feng Yao, and his surname is Feng. Do you have any associations? Surname Feng. Could it be? No way. Are you saying that Bao is Wu Zhensheng's daughter? Yes, Feng Bao is indeed Wu Zhensheng's daughter. What? Are you saying that my old man is called Feng Yao? Or Wu Zhensheng? Feng Bao's little head was a little dizzy because of these two names. Let Zusan explain this to you later. Please listen to me in detail first. Li Yu said. Back then, the 36 thieves of Quangxing formed an oath of brotherhood in a place called the 24 Sections Valley, where 8 people realized the 8 wonders. They are the origin of Ki body, the soul binding and general dispatching techniques, the Feng Hao Kimen, the Tangshan Lu, the double-handed technique, the divine machine 100 refinements, the 6 treasury immortal thieves, and the Daluo cave observation. Then everyone left the 24 Sections Valley. But then an accident happened. That is, Wu Zhensheng's daughter Feng Bao died unexpectedly, so Wu Zhensheng summoned her again, and prepared to gather the 8 wonders to revive Feng Bao. What? Bao was resurrected by the 8 wonders? Zusan and Zusi were extremely shocked. Could the 8 wonders actually have the ability to revive the dead? But when they thought of Feng Bao's immortal physique, it all seemed to make sense. Chapter 73 Feng Bao. Thanks to Quasar, Tyrant Dragon King, salted fish from the sea, and passers-by who like novels for their awards. Thank you for your support, Godfathers. Ergao said before that the baby's soul was tampered with, right? That's right. Zusan nodded and asked with a frown. Does this have anything to do with the 8 wonders? Liu took out a reflective eye from nowhere, crossed his hands under his nose, and made a classic move of Commander Done. Then he said in a serious tone, Shuanquan hand. Shine. A flash of light passed through Liu's lens. I don't know why I feel that this move is so oppressive. Zusi took a puff of cigarette. Shuanquan hand. When used, the arm becomes red and blue. The blue hand modifies the soul and controls others, and the red hand modifies the body, which can make the bones white and change the appearance, hence the name. Shuanquan hand. Modify the soul. Zusan and Zusi looked at each other. Yes, does it sound familiar? The Lu family's soul clearing technique. With the IQ of Zusan and Zusi, it was easy to think of this. Shuanquan Shao is a secret technique inherited from bloodline. Liu continued. Back then, Zhang Huai comprehended the origin of the key body. Feng Xianyang comprehended the soul binding and general dispatching skills. Zhao Shen comprehended the Feng Hao Kiban. Ma Benzhe comprehended the Shenji Balian. Zheng Zibu comprehended the Tang Shenlu. Gu Jiting comprehended the Dalo Dongwen. And Ruan Feng comprehended the Liuku Zianzi. And Duan Muang comprehended the Shuanquan hand. After Feng Bao's accidental death, Wu Zhensheng summoned these 8 people to prepare to use the 8 strange skills to resurrect Feng Bao in the 24 sections valley. But Duan Muang was absent. She was caught by the Lu family on the way, imprisoned and used as a blood bank. Every child of the Lu family will be injected with Duan Muang's blood when they are born, to gamble on whether they can inherit the Shuanquan hand. The Lu family obtained the Minghan technique, which can control the memory of the soul in this way. It is precisely because of the characteristics of the inheritance of the Shuanquan hand that Lu Xi dared not let anyone know the secret of the Minghan technique. And because the Shuanquan hand is not there, Feng Bao's resurrection is not perfect, and she has no memory of her life. And the reason why Feng Bao is so special is that she is a master of the 8 extreme skills, and it is also due to the special nature of the 24 section valley. So Zhang Huai knows Feng Bao. Liu said everything he knew in one breath. To be honest, Feng Bao's life experience is still a mystery in the anime version. Liu didn't expect that the ending of the TV series would be directly exposed. If you want to say that this is a magic change by the screenwriter, the author himself also made a cameo appearance at the end, which made many people believe that this was the author's setting. Regardless of whether the anime version is a truth, the TV version is like this anyway. After all, this is a parallel universe derived from the TV version. Can Bao's memory be recovered? It can only be said that it is possible, but the probability is not high. Liu picked up the tea bowl and moistened his dry mouth. Please help me. I want to know, my old man. Feng Bao looked at Liu excitedly. This was the closest she had been to the truth in all these years. Looking at Feng Bao's eyes, that seemed like a wounded little animal. It would be a lie for Liu to say that he didn't feel sorry for this person. If you just watch the TV series, you can say that those actors have poor acting skills and act awkwardly. But this is not a TV series, but a parallel world derived from it. Everyone here is real, and everyone's feelings are also true. It can be said that TV series are just a reference, and the real world is the real world. Feng Bao has no memory and no family for so many years. Her biggest obsession is her own life experience. She watched Zhang Chulan being accepted by the old Xianxi as a family disciple, and she envied. Feng Bao is a person who can't hide her feelings, so in the original book, she would be angry, crazy and couldn't control herself, and punched Zhang Chulan. Zhang Chulan understood her, and chose to help her without reservation. This is a girl who makes people feel distressed. Feng Bao's memory may be in the 24 sections valley, and Duan Muang is also there. But you don't want to get Duan Muang's help. Do you know the truth about Lu Liang killing his sister? The Lu family spread the news that Lu Liang killed his sister and escaped from the Lu family. This is the information we found. Zusan said the information he had. That's fake. Liu shook his head. Duan Muang was imprisoned in the dungeon by Lu Xi. Lu Huan met Duan Muang by chance. Lu Huan had a very good talent for soul enlightenment and was proficient in it at a young age. One day, Duan Muang reached out to the young Lu Huan and exchanged her personality, memory and soul with Lu Huan. She took over Lu Huan's body. What? Zusan and Zusi looked at each other. They never expected that the truth would be like this. Then why did the Lu family say that Lu Liang killed Lu Huan? Zusi asked in confusion. Duan Muang escaped from the Lu family. Naturally she didn't want her news to be leaked, so she tampered with the memories of some people. Let some people see Lu Liang killing Lu Huan as witnesses, so that she can perfectly disappear from people's sight. Duan Muang is now completely untrustworthy. She has been tortured in the Lu family for so many years, and she blames the source of all this on Wu Zhensheng and them. She resents her sworn brothers. No one has come to save her for so many years. She resents Feng Bao who caused all this. If it weren't for saving her, she wouldn't have been caught by the Lu family. In short, Duan Muang's mind is already crazy. If she were to come into contact with Feng Bao, you think that people who have mastered the method of exchanging souls and taking over bodies would face such a young body with the essence of the 8 strange skills. Will she be moved? Or maybe she has already been thinking about how to take over this body. Li Yu's words rang like thunder in Zusan and Zusi's ears. The two looked at each other silently, and they must not let Bao's secret be exposed. Then it's just a joke. Feng Bao even leaned back on the chair, and the whole person looked like a salted fish with bones removed. He looked at the ceiling with lifeless eyes. Could he really not get his memory back? Then Bao really has no chance to recover his memory? Seeing Feng Bao like this, Zusan felt distressed. So he said to Li Yu, even if there is only a glimmer of hope, we want to try. Fourth brother Li Yu suddenly called Zusi. Ah. What's the matter, Yuzi? I want the most luxurious club and the most expensive service for healthcare, no problem. Zusi was a smart man. He knew immediately after hearing what Li Yu said that Li Yu had a way. No problem. I just want Zusan's bank card password. Enough. Absolutely no problem. Zusi immediately stood up from the chair and patted his chest to guarantee. Looking at Zusi, Li Yu thought to himself, are you really not afraid that Zusan will beat you to death? Eluosha and Dajio ended the Kwangsing attack on the mountain, and the under one person will come to an end. The dimensional wanted order will be issued soon, and the space-time patrol will be launched. Komori put her hands on her hips and said, stand still, I'm going to start showing off. Chapter 74 Full Sex Attack. Thanks to the Pasabi brother Raccoon for the reward. Thank you all for your votes. I kowtow to you. The first part of Under One Person will be finished soon. It will be written in a few chapters, and then the next part will be started. As for the complete Shuanquan hand, it is not only Duan Muang who can do it. Now there is another person who can master the Shuanquan hand. Who? Is it from the Lu family? This person, you will meet him tonight. I will introduce him to you then. Li Yu kept it a secret. However, Zusan and Zusi did have a little guess in their hearts. Anyway, this is probably all I know. With so many clues, I believe your investigation will be much easier. If you want to restore Feng Bao's memory, the most important thing is to find the 24-section valley. Let Zhang Chulan do this. We can't let that kid do nothing. Li Yu spread his hands and threw all the next work to Zhang Chulan. It was already night. In the old Taoist's room, Zhang Chulan sat cross-legged. Little brat, do you really not want to accept the master's degree? Zhang Chulan nodded. Master, don't worry, my safety will not be threatened. You should keep the master's degree. I don't want to lose a master. After all, I don't have many elders. You little brat, you know a lot. The old master looked at Zhang Chulan angrily. Then you are doing this, isn't it making my Luotian Daijio a joke? Oh master, don't be angry. Zhang Chulan hurriedly used 12 shameless efforts to coax the old master. But since you don't plan to accept the master's degree, what does it mean to stay in my room and not leave? The old master looked at Zhang Chulan and asked with a glare. Hehe, of course it's fishing. Zhang Chulan was grinning, and at this time Zhang Chulan's mobile phone rang. Zhang Chulan took out his mobile phone and saw that it was a message from an unfamiliar number. The plan has begun. Master, the fish has taken the bait. Zhang Chulan put the mobile phone back into his trouser pocket. At this time, there was a shout of killing outside. The Kwangsing attack on the mountain began. Outside, the Kwangsing demons gathered quickly, and when they were all gathered, they launched an attack on Langhu Mountain. After talking with Zusan and Zusi, Li Yu stood on a roof, with his hands in his pockets, looking at Langhu Mountain below. At this moment, many buildings were already on fire and blazing. In any case, he promised Zhang Chulan to help him deal with these Kwangsing demons. So Li Yu was ready to attack directly. Li Yu put his hands in his pockets and fell directly below. The next second, he fell in the middle of the Kwangsing demons. Suddenly, dozens of Kwangsing demons looked over and stared at Li Yu with ill intentions. The opponent had only one person, and the advantage was mine. The Kwangsing demons looked at each other. Go, kill him. Dozens of people rushed towards Li Yu, and Li Yu was covered with armed color, raised his hand and slapped the man who rushed in front. Pa! A slap hit the man's face, and the man flew backwards instantly. All the teeth in his mouth were broken, and he crashed through the wall and fainted. Li Yu walked slowly forward with one hand in his pocket and the other hand facing the faces of others. Every time he slapped, one person would fly out. Li Yu immediately found the feeling of the old Taoist priest going down the mountain to destroy Kwangsing, and slapping everyone in the alley. As the saying goes, when the old Taoist priest is in a good mood, he is one person below him, and when he is in a bad mood, he is one person below him. In short, it's very comfortable. Very cool. After a while, the dozens of Kwangsing monsters were lying on the ground. TSK, you fell down before I made a move. Li Yu looked at the Kwangsing monsters lying on the ground and said disdainfully. Suddenly I felt something was wrong. Damn, I'm not a monkey, and I can't repeat the action scenes. Zusan and Zusi, who heard the noise, ran over, as well as some employees of Nadatang. When Zusan and Zusi saw a large number of Kwangsing monsters lying on the ground, they were suddenly surprised. These people are really brave enough to attack Langhu Mountain. Li Yu turned his head and saw Zusan and Zusi and whispered, I'll leave this to you. I still have things to do. After that, Li Yu disappeared from the spot and teleported away. The commotion of Quan Crossing's demon made the whole Langhu Mountain more and more lively. In a small courtyard of the Xianqi mansion, Rangshan, who was arranged by the old Xianqi to take care of Xianjin's Hang tonight, tightly protected Xianjin's Hang. The door was closed, and the atmosphere in the room was a bit solemn. Neither Rangshan nor Xianjin's Hang thought that Quan Crossing would dare to break into the Xianqi mansion. This is really taking their Xianqi mansion as a soft persimmon. At this moment, Rangshan, who is also a disciple of the old Xianqi, wants to help, but Xianjin's Hang is unattended and can only hold back. Outside the door, Xiao Yuzi, disguised by Gongking, the acting head of Quan Crossing, felt that the time was almost right and began to brew emotions. He forced a few tears and then rushed into the room in a panic. Grandmaster Shan, Grandmaster Rangshan. What's wrong? Xiao Yuzi, Rangshan asked. He had just sent Xiao Yuzi out to check the situation, but he didn't expect that he would come back in such a short time. The Xianqi mansion is about to be demolished by those Kwangsing monsters. Gongking performed his acting skills with tears in his eyes. He had been hiding in the Xianqi mansion for 2.5 years, and had already trained himself to be able to deceive everyone. Under his performance, Xianjin's Hang and Rangshan, who were not far away, gnashed their teeth in hatred. These evil beasts. Seeing that the two were not angry enough, Gongking cried and said, not only that, I just heard from the brothers outside that the Grandmaster also took action. But there were too many monsters, which put the Grandmaster in a difficult battle. The Grandmaster is old, no matter how powerful he is. Master. Rangshan couldn't sit still when he heard that his master was in danger. Rangshan. Go to help your master and fellow brothers. Don't worry about me, Xianjin's Hang urged. But Uncle Master, go quickly. This is a remote place. It's been such a long time. Have you seen anyone come here? Go quickly. This is an order. Xianjin's Hang was firm. Okay. Rangshan left. Before leaving, he also told Xiao Yuzi and Xiao Kingzi to take good care of Xianjin's Hang. Not long after he left, Gongking stopped pretending and showed his cards directly. With a click, he knocked Xiao Kingzi unconscious. Xiao Yuzi, what are you doing? Xianjin's Hang was confused. Old Shan, is my acting okay? Gonking bowed to Shanjin's Hung and then said, acting head of Kwangsing, Gonking, meet Old Shan. Shanjin's Hung obviously did not expect that Zhao Yuzi, who had taken care of him for 3 years, was actually the acting head of Kwangsing. Seeing Shanjin's Hung's surprised expression, Gonking smiled with satisfaction, and then said, get out of the way, I'm going to start pretending. Chapter 75 I betrayed you, Master. After 3 years of forbearance, he has judged through some clues that Shanjin's Hung knows a lot of inside information about the Jiashan Rebellion. Looking at the gradually changing expression on Shanjin's Hung's face, Gonking knew that his guess was correct, which made him even more excited. 3 years. Do you know how he spent these 3 years as a grandson in this Shianchi mansion? Exclamation mark. Forbearance is for today's moment of enjoying the fruits of victory. Knock knock knock. Before he could enjoy the victory for a while, there was a sudden knock on the door. Master Lu Liang pushed the door open and bowed to Gonking with a smile on his face. Lu Liang, you came at the right time. Old Shan's memory will be handed over to you. Shanjin's Hung looked panicked when he saw Lu Liang coming in. He knew that Lu Jiaming's soul technique could search people's memories. Damn it, I don't know anything. Zhao Yuzi, if you have the guts, kill me today. Old Shan, although I know you are very anxious, don't be anxious yet. Lu Liang reached into his trouser pocket and took out a mobile phone. What do you mean, LV Liang? It's a rare opportunity, why don't you act quickly? LV Liang shook his head. Master, this opportunity is not a good one. Gonking was a little confused. What do you mean? He means you are finished. Swish. With a flash of his figure, Liu teleported directly in front of everyone. Liu turned his head to look at Shanjin's Hung, smiled and said, Old Shan, your place is really remote. It's a good thing that I arrived in time, otherwise the consequences tonight would be disastrous. Why are you here? Gonking frowned. He had expected Liu to appear here. Did he lay out the spatial coordinates here in advance? Everyone who has watched Liu's game knows that Liu needs spatial coordinates for teleportation. Of course I came here on purpose. You don't think your plan is perfect, do you? Liu looked at the little Gonking in front of him. What should I say? This Kwangsing generation master is still a bit miserable. It was not easy to be patient in the Shianchi mansion for so long. He finally wanted to enjoy the fruits of victory, but he encountered such a big battle that it became a waste of effort. In the final analysis, this matter still depends on our golden insider. After Liu said this, Lu Liang cooperated and shook the phone in his hand. And Gonking only saw at this time that there was a symbol pattern marked on Lu Liang's phone case, the Flying Thunder God mark. Gonking seemed to understand something in an instant. That's right, Master, it was indeed me who betrayed you. That's right, Master, it was me who betrayed you again. Someone come up with the picture. Lu Liang still had that playful smile on his face. Well, you are really something, shrimp and pig heart, right? Next time you shoot the deer in the cauldron, I won't watch it unless you play duolang. Why did you betray me? Gonking looked at Lu Liang and was puzzled. We are Kwangsing, how can we be loyal? As for the reason for betraying you, it's enough that Zhang Chulan and the others can give me what I want. That's right, Zhang Chulan has contacted Lu Liang and got information about Lu Huan and Xuanquan Xiao. Lu Liang is also a ruthless man. After confirming the accuracy of the information, he cut off his limbs and awakened Xuanquan Xiao according to the experience in the original book. Let's not talk about the cooperation between the two for now. Let's talk about Gonking. Gonking, right? The acting head of Kwangsing, right? Today I'm here to ask you about your strength as the head of Kwangsing. Seeing that Liu was about to make a move, Gonking knew that he was no match for him, and he unconsciously took 2 steps back. I'm not good at fighting. Let's fight with words. If I win, you let me go. If you lose, you hand over Mr. Shan to me. Hearing Gonking's voice of wanting to fight with words, Liu laughed. This guy was completely desperate and tried all kinds of methods. Without wasting time, Liu immediately appeared in front of Gonking and slapped him hard with a sudden, armed, domineering blow. The force that burst out made Gonking fly out. But before Gonking could fly too far, he was grabbed by him again and slapped again. What kind of fight is this? Do you think we are going to compete here? The Luotian Grand Ceremony is over. Gonking never expected that Liu would be so fast. He was not good at fighting. He was better at strategizing and controlling the overall situation behind the scenes. But who would have thought that the situation he had planned for 3 years, everything was going according to plan, but at the last juncture, it was ruined by Lu Liang, a traitor. I'm gonking. I'm going to start a revolving lantern. No, I'm going to start a monologue. Gonking, whose head was crooked by 2 slaps, began to flash a revolving lantern in his mind. As the acting head of Kwangsing, I only pursue the truth of how the 8 strange skills came into being, and the inside story of the Jiaoshan Rebellion. This is the truth that the whole Kwangsing wants to pursue. In order to understand this past, we are going to start with the predecessors who are still alive. Zhang Huai, who is related to the Jiaoshan Rebellion, and has 8 strange skills. Naturally, it is a good choice. However, Kwangsing's predecessors have suffered losses at the hands of Zhang Huai, and I can only choose to sneak into the Xianqi mansion related to Zhang Huai to find clues. While looking for clues, I asked Kwangsing to look for Zhang Huai everywhere. Unfortunately, Zhang Huai has been dead for a long time, and only his bones are left. It is difficult to get information from Zhang Huai, so I can only pin my hopes on the Xianqi mansion. After 3 years of forbearance, I finally found some clues. Based on these clues, I speculated that Xianjin Tang of the Xianqi mansion knew the inside story, and it was a big secret. For this reason, I risked my life to plan a full-scale attack on Langhu Mountain as a cover, to help me extract the information I wanted from Xianjin Tang's memory. Everything should have been under my control, and everything was going smoothly according to plan. But when I saw the young man who was not inferior to the old Xianqi in the Luotian Daijio duel, all the plans seemed to fall apart. What I didn't expect was that the news was actually spread by Lu Liang. Why did he betray? Didn't he want to know the truth? I don't know. I might die. I was very unwilling. I planned for so long and bet everything, but this was the result. I hated myself for being careless, and for not realizing that Lu Liang was a traitor. If it weren't for this most critical step, I should have been the winner, and I should have been able to learn more about the Jiaoshan Rebellion. But what's the point of saying this now? I was a grandson for 3 years and my disguise was not discovered by the people in the Xianqi mansion, but I was defeated here. Maybe this is fate. God doesn't help me. Bang. Gonking's body fell to the ground, raising a cloud of dust. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.